welcome to another episode here at West Coast Dogman Project. I'm your host, Shane Michael Crisp, and I'm honored to have two incredible researchers on tonight, and that is Javier and Jesus with Cryptid 559. Jesus, welcome to the show, brother.
Thank you.
Right now, Javi's having some audio issues, and he should be on here shortly. I'm just honored to have both you guys on. I mean, we're all from the same state, and hopefully one day we can all link up and go do some research together looking for cryptids. But Jesus, brother, tell me a little bit about yourself, if you don't mind. You can do just a brief description about yourself.
A little brief description about me. I'm a resident of California. Just a few years ago, maybe 5 years ago, I got into this whole cryptid searching thing. And it all started with a news segment where a local farmer had witnessed a family of Bigfoots in his backyard, and curiosity really grabbed Javier and myself into going out there and witnessing this cryptid creature out in our backyard, literally. So yeah, that's what pretty much started it off for me here with Javier. But back when I was in 5th grade, there was a teacher too that would introduce us into these mysterious little short stories, and that piqued my interest then too. But really, what just threw me off, and we've been going out there and researching for ourselves was this news that there was some Bigfoot sightings in our backyard. Well, in the Avocado Lake area.
Wow, that's interesting. Yeah, I know when I started doing my research last August, diving into it, I came across, you guys over at Cryptid 559. And I'm like, wait, there's a dogman sighting inside here, the Central Valley. And that was one of the first places I went to when I first started out, was because of what you and Javier over at Cryptid 559 do. You guys do incredible research, and I was like, Avocado Lake's only a couple hours away from me.
Yeah.
So, and it seemed like we went in January where it was cold and it was overcast, and the area just seemed kind of eerie. But I watched your guys' stuff, and just the evidence you guys have shown, there's some type of portal, or there's a lot of activity, not just dogmen, but Sasquatch. And you guys recently came across a pterodactyl, or some type of bird, right?
Some type of bird, correct. And as best we can describe it, it's a pterodactyl. And a few weeks ago, again, just out of curiosity, we had a little downtime, and we went out there just to try and snap a photo of something. And it was pitch black. We couldn't see anything. Again, it's the general area where we like to go and just observe. And it's pitch black. And right behind us, you get that screech again of that bird. It's a distinctive screech that I can't compare it to anything known in our local area. But again, we're not professionals, and we don't pretend to be professionals. We're a group of guys that just want to take a picture, take a video, or even a sound, and put it out there and let the audience, who are probably a little bit more smarter than we are, if they know, hey, you know what, that sounds like a condor, or it sounds like a pelican, or whatever the case may be, but at least have that knowledge. Okay, so this is this possibly. So going back to it, it's just, again, I don't know why we're so fortunate to be able to experience these things. I don't know if it's that we do it with ill intent to hurt it or capture it, but we're out there, we're trying to get that proof so we could show everybody, hey, look, this is the sound. What do you guys think it is? And I mean, there's a lot of people out there too that have witnessed pterodactyls or experienced similar birds that just can't be explained.
Yeah, and I've seen through the video where you guys said you saw it perched up on the bridge right over by, was it, it was by the Kings River, just south, or was it east of Avocado Lake? And then you saw it down in the, there was an embankment, I believe, right?
There is an embankment there, and when we first observed this bird, I mean, we weren't expecting it. It totally caught us off guard. Again, we're in the area looking for Bigfoot, uh, especially the dogman, because I mean, I can't personally talk about that experience Javier had, but he
Hmm.
had a personal one-on-one experience with his encounter.
Hmm.
But the day we witnessed the bird, um, it just it was so unreal to see this massive bird just glide. It was different. We weren't able to notice any feathers. It was very leathery. The
Oh,
skin
wow.
was very leathery. The
Hmm.
head was very distinct. It wasn't like a normal bird that we're used to seeing. So, I mean, we I can't personally say it was this type of bird, but I can say, it resembled more of a pterodactyl. But we are not the only ones that have seen this strange bird. Others and people that we know have witnessed this bird in the past. So it's interesting to have had that opportunity to see this creature during the day. It was a little dusk, but I mean there was still enough light for us to be able to make out some of those key details.
Interesting. I know after watching that, I was like, there's got to be something there. And I've watched some of your guys' content, and Javier's explained that there the activity by Avocado Lake is just weird, like possibly portals. I mean, obviously pterodactyls, went extinct 65 million years ago, but you're seeing something that's really close to seeing that. I mean, is it the veil thinning, or do you think that there's unknown creatures, or do you think they're interdimensional?
Personally, I believe they're interdimensional, and I think I brought this up in the past where
Mhm.
there's a high concentration of energy, and
Mhm.
portals probably do open up briefly, momentarily, just enough so that these creatures jump into our dimension. They kind of freak out a little, wander around our area, and then vanish back into their dimension. So to me, that's probably what's happening, because I mean, I find it very hard to believe that these creatures live among us, live among us, and we haven't been able to see them or see where their habitats or anything else. So I mean, there has to be something going on with portals, energy, very high energy. Um, I wish we had the proper tools to really investigate. Like, for example, some of the rocks, are they magnetic? Are they causing some kind of ringing that's causing these rocks to open up these portals momentarily? um, I'm gonna refer back to one of Javier's photos, and I mean, again, it will be open to interpretation. But in the past, him and his cousin have gone down to the Kings River and just snapped random photos. And one of the islands, when the Kings River is a little dry, they happened to just snap random photos of this little island, and you could see like pyramid like structures in the middle. And it's
Mhm.
odd. And again, people have said that it could be pareidolia, but I mean, for a picture like that was just random, and it was brief, and there's multiple pictures of this specific spot taken, and you can't replicate it. It was just a snapshot of what it appears to be like a little pyramid with some skulls
Oh,
around it.
wow.
So
Interesting.
it is very interesting, because again, is it just that perfect timing of the energy just building up all at once, and we're able to witness a little blip of what could have been the past or the future. I mean, it's hard to say. Really, it
No,
is.
it really is. Right now, brother, I don't mean to cut it short. My screen just froze on me. Let me see. I can't get onto my first screen.
Oh
It,
no.
yeah, it just froze up on me.
All right.
Let me. This is gonna suck because I'm trying to. It just froze on us. I was gonna try to add Javier back on, but let me reset my computer and I'll
Okay.
send you back. Just click back on the link and we'll try to get back on in the next
Okay.
5 minutes. Is that okay?
Sounds good.
Sorry about that. Sorry,
No problem.
guests. All right, let me just redo this real quick.
Hello.
Can you hear me now, brother?
I can hear you.
Okay. Javi, are you on?
Can you hear me now, brother? I can hear you. Oh, we got an echo.
Is that an echo?
Yeah.
Let's see. Yeah, sorry about that. My computer screen just froze.
Yeah. Don't worry. It's happened before.
Yeah, especially on a live show, you'd hope it
Yeah.
would never happen, but I think Javi's still trying to join in. I've tried adding them, but yeah. So going back to where we were at, brother, what are you part of the NADP or are you just a part of Cryptid 559?
I'm just part of Cryptid 559. Yeah, he is part of the NADP, I think.
Mm-hmm. Now, what got you into? When did you start your active field research? Was it just a couple of years ago?
It was a few years ago with Javier. Yes, it all
Okay,
began with him.
right on. And now, did you always keep an open mind to it? I mean, I know we talked about your school teacher talking about it, and you always in that family that you guys went and seen. But did you always believe, or were you one of the naysayers? Would you say like, "Oh, these things don't exist," or
I'm open. I'm open-minded about it.
uh,
There are times, and there has been times where, like, Javier and I have different opinions about something. Like, either I might think, "Hey, this is legit evidence right here. What do you think?" He says, "No, I don't think so because of this reason." And I'm like, "Okay, I see it your way," and it's been like that with him and I. Like, both of us looking at each other's evidence and kind of giving it another perspective. Because, for example, I might think, oh my god, I have a legit paw right here. What do you think it is? Well, it kind of looks like a, let's say, a horse,
mhm.
or a horse print. I'm like, okay, yeah, I can see it now. So then, kind of, I go back into, man, I thought I had something really good. But yeah, I mean, I tend to believe that I have an open mind, and not everything is what I want it to be. So
Yeah. Now, do you, when you go out and research, do you have like a certain area? You don't have to describe it, but do you guys venture out to different areas, or do you keep it to one certain area?
um, we've kept it very local right now,
Look,
and
hmm
it's not because we haven't been wanting to. We wanted to dearly. We have been wanting to, but I mean, I just don't have the time right now. I haven't had the time for a little while because I went back to school. But I wish I had a little bit more time so we
Can't
could.
hear you guys. I'm sorry. I'm trying to get to a business center here where I'm at. If you guys can hear me, so I'll probably get
yeah, we
back
can hear you, Javi.
in a little bit. I'm gonna try to connect again. I can't see or hear you guys.
Okay.
Sounds good. So, so going back to the question, if we venture out, we have different locations or just a general location. Right now, it's been a general area, what is here, the Avocado Lake. We have talked about going to different areas, different game plans, different uh, investigation techniques. We're very limited to the equipment that we have, so we try to make the best of what we have and utilize other methods that other researchers have uh, deployed to help them capture something. Um, so, yeah, for the most part, we stay here local, but we have discussed about going a little bit further away and researching and collaborating with other researchers, and see, how they do things, what are their protocols, how do they collect evidence, and what else we could maybe not necessarily disturb, but get a reaction from their area, maybe a whole different set of scents. It will cause something to approach us and make their presence known.
Yeah, that's what we're all in this for, is just to get answers. And now I'm doing this whole thing is to get answers for myself, and and present my evidence to people, whether it's pareidolia. I never say it's a dog man or it's a Sasquatch. Whatever I share, I say this is what it looks like. Now, keep an open mind to it. I was there. To anybody's evidence. It can be really pixelated, and then when you upload anything to Facebook, their photo processor just butchers the picture in half. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I thought I've gotten some incredible stuff that looks like it could be a dogman, but I'm not saying it is. It could be a burnt tree or just a shadow. So, but like at the end of the day, the more people that have a like mind in doing this, I think we'll get farther in our research and maybe get answers. I mean, look at the United States government right now. They're releasing information every day on UAPs, little bits here and there. But 20 years ago, you were butchered and crucified for this. You're considered crazy. But now they're releasing it. So maybe with the Bigfoot and the dogman topic, maybe in the next 10 years, it'll be more not mainstream, but accepting, I guess you could say.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that.
I'm going to do a personal shout out, brother. I'm still waiting for Javi, but I want to say thank you, Sean Patterson, for joining. Carrie Tucson, who's my mom. She, of course, mom has to be there. Miriam Khalil, who's one of our admins over here at West Coast. Honored to have her. Jamie Rochin, thanks for joining. And Casual Conversations. And Monster Radio, which is Ryan Tremblay, awesome brother of mine. Glad to have him. Joe Mizell. And my wife, Lisa Petrus. Let's see, who else? Dev Rooney, the Region 1 Director for the North American Dogman Project. Truly honored to have her here. And let's see if anybody else is on. Looks like that's who we have in the chats tonight.
Awesome. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
If you guys have questions, I'll randomly pop them up here. And Jesus, I guess we're going to just, till Javi gets here, I mean, we'll just have to really go on. I don't want to share the pictures without both you guys. So, because I actually was reviewing them this morning and I saw some stuff. I don't know if it's pareidolia, but some things off into the bush near the eucalyptus trees that really stood out to me. So I was going to want to get your opinion on it.
And I think I know which ones you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I mean, if it's the ones with the circles around them, I was actually looking at where the trees like stuck up into the other side of the tree. But when you zoom in, I saw two different things. It looks like one with a pit bull head, and then there was one that looks like an outline of what could be a canine head. I don't know, but like I said, I'd like to get your guys' opinion on your evidence.
Let me give you a little background as to that day, that particular day. That day we were both pumped up. This was a totally new area. I believe we had been there before, but really nothing really happened. But Javier constantly drove through that street and he noticed a lot of disturbance in the eucalyptus. So he wanted to go back and just check it out. So that day, in particular, when we went down to the eucalyptus area, I was getting a very eerie feeling. Like, your sixth sense finally kicked in and it's telling you danger. And he's pumped up. He says, "Hey, I'll go forward. I'll keep doing my thing. You just keep snapping pictures." I'm like, you know what? I'll stay back here. I'll snap pictures, and if anything happens, I'll get help. So he was out there. You're hearing things, you're smelling, so all your senses are hyped up. And I'm just snapping pictures, and he's like, "Hey, I hear something. But we can't see it with the naked eye." So I'm just snapping pictures. He goes into behind the eucalyptus. There's a dry little creek that runs through there, but nothing physical really stood out to him that day. So I, snapped the pictures. I sent it over to him, and he says, "You will not believe what I saw in these pictures. You tell me what you've seen." So I see, I see between the eucalyptus trees, there's some shadows, there's some silhouettes. So I'm like, dude, there was definitely something there, and that's why I was feeling the way I was feeling. Like I totally did not feel safe, but sometimes you just gotta push it a little tiny bit just to get the evidence. And
go a little farther, a little deeper in.
Yeah. So he did. I mean, he was over there, and I'm just snapping pictures. And I mean, those pictures. I mean, they're awesome. I mean, I can't tell you definitively exactly what they are, but definitely there's something in the photos.
Yeah, they
And
definitely stand out,
yeah,
especially when you're behind Javi and you're taking the picture and you see the two what look to me like dogmen just hanging in there. They're two dark black shadows in the tree line and just observing him walking in into the eucalyptus. That's what stood out to me. And I asked Javi, I believe 3 months ago, if I could share that to my West Coast page, and he's like, "Brother, by all means, go ahead."
yeah,
I was truly, as long as I gave him photo credit, and of course, that's what I'm all about is giving credit and making sure if I do share someone's stuff, if I have the backstory to it, I like to just promote it, and give them credit. But
yeah.
there's that one, and then there's that other one where it looks like a Bigfoot standing behind the tree. When he lightened it.
That one right there was our first time ever going out, and that was our curiosity had been piqued, and we're like, let's do it. Let's go to an area around where this farmer's farm is, and let's
Mhm.
just investigate. It was an old like camping ground or a state park that had been reclaimed by the Native Americans. So
Mhm.
we knew there wasn't a lot of public traffic in that area. So so we went in there and just took our backpacks, some first aid, some snacks, some pictures, some waters, and we just snapped photos, looking for things that that were out of the ordinary. And of course, we came across some. I'm going to refer to them as blinds because that's what it looks like to me.
You can send me if you can hear me, send me a text in Messenger.
Uh-oh. I don't think he can
Because I
see
can
us.
only hear myself right now. I can't even see myself. I can't see you guys. I can't hear you guys.
Okay, I'll shoot him a
I
text.
just hit him on Messenger right now. I told him I could hear him. I could see him. He's added to the live stream.
You can hear
So
me? Okay.
can you hear us?
Yeah, I can't hear you guys. I can't even see you guys.
Okay. Well, let's see. Okay. Well, until he can fix his technical audio. Let's see. I'm hoping my thing doesn't kick me again. Yeah, but you were saying the area you guys go to is native land. The natives reclaimed it back. So do you think that the native lands have something to do with supernatural, paranormal, and cryptid activity?
I think so. I think they're more in tune with nature,
Mm-hmm.
so they're open to this kind of stuff. And when we entered this our investigation area again, we noticed the blinds, and we looked for uh, human activity around these blinds, but we did not find a trace of debris of trash or anything to indicate that it was um, human presence in those blinds. And not only that, we didn't only see one; we saw a few. It, and they were clean, and it just looked so out of place. I don't think a hunter would have made a blind that close to where the public goes and fishes, but it did seem kind of odd. So we started thinking, well, could it be like a Bigfoot using this as a habitat during the periods where people don't come and fish? And I mean, it's pretty much free land for this creature to survive and do its thing. Um, so that lingered with us, and as we moved along in that general area, we started feeling a little bit uneasy. The best way I can describe it to you was that somebody was watching us and just making sure that we didn't really get out of line as to, venture a little too far this way or a little too far that way. Just stay in line. So we came across some tree snaps, and they were about 8 feet high. And again, these tree snaps were so out of the ordinary because the tree was perfectly healthy. There was no reason why a branch from this tree would have snapped at that particular location. So it was odd. So again, we just kept on snapping pictures. So we that again, this was our first investigation, and we got a feel for what it was going to be once we're out there on the field. So we, since it was our first investigation, we didn't know to go back home and check through the photos. I mean, I believe Javier made his first Cryptid 559 video with those photos and a few short video clips. But it wasn't until after the pandemic, when we were all quarantined, that he was looking over the photos, and he says, "Dude, you won't believe what I saw in one of the photos around the blinds where we felt very uneasy." I'm like, okay, well, what? I mean, I didn't know. I wasn't expecting really nothing to come out of it. So he sends me the photo, and he didn't tell me much. He just says, "What do you see in the background?" What I can tell is a dark figure hiding or peeking behind a tree. Keep in mind, at that time, is we didn't know what it was. It was just that awkward feeling of being watched. And then a year after, um, seeing actual evidence of what could have been behind those trees, cloaked, watching us as we're, looking for evidence, any kind of evidence. Again, the blinds, to me, it's a form of evidence because I haven't been able to prove or disprove that it was made by a human. So it's still open for debate.
Well, that's the thing I was going to ask you, Jesus. You said that the blinds didn't look human made? Was it perfectly woven? Because I've read and researched that Sasquatch perfectly woven, branches and stuff, and their dens and stuff are a lot more detailed. Where a dog man just throws them together, kind of thing.
Okay.
I mean, what's your honest?
Okay,
do you
so
think it was?
to me, when you refer to woven, horizontal, what I'm thinking is horizontally, that they're like this, woven, right? No, these were semi-thin to medium size branches aligned like this. So they were like this. So and it just had a perfect opening for something to come in and come out. So again, I don't know how long they were there. Did they at one point have leaves or some kind of needles where whatever was hiding inside was able to maintain its distance and still keep an eye out uh, of its surroundings? I don't know. But again, we didn't find any sign of trash, anything that could indicate that it could have been a person, a homeless person. I mean, no signs of that.
It looks like Ryan said it only makes sense. Sasquatch is working with a primate brain. Dogman would have intelligence similar to a canine. So yeah, I totally agree with Ryan and what you just said, Jesus. Now, when you were out there researching in the eucalyptus and you guys started saying or feeling like you were being watched, the uneasy feeling, was there any smells like, would you say like H2S or like a fart smell or egg smell?
You know what? Javier was mentioning smells, a distinct smell, almost like of rotting meat. But there was no carcass, there was no flesh, there was nothing in the general area that we were to indicate that there was something that had died. We smelled it, but there was nothing there to say, oh, that odor is correlated to this. no, we didn't. We didn't witness any of that.
Interesting. And when was the last time you guys recently went out? Didn't you guys go look for some paranormal UFO, UAP activity? I know Javi released out a video where I don't know if were you with him or was it his cousin that was with him when
It's
they went up to that
probably his
area?
cousin. It's probably
Okay.
his cousin, but more likely than not, I was probably with him as well. Like
Oh,
I said, it was maybe a few weeks ago when we were out, uh, just him and myself researching. We went to this new location. It was an abandoned quarry. Uh, we were just scoping out the area, and hopefully we can investigate there later down the road. But when we got to the bridge where he had his dogman encounter and we've had our pterodactyl encounter, um, we got that screech once again. But unfortunately, we were not recording. We weren't expecting it, so
yeah.
we were caught off guard. But I know that next time we do go out, we both have the same voice recorder. So I mean, it's pretty easy. Once we're on site of an investigation, just both of us hit the record button at the same time and just do our investigation, and hopefully we could get um, some what does he call them, IEPs or something like that.
Or yeah, I think it's what it's called. Just any type of audio, right?
Yeah,
On anything.
yeah.
Yeah, going back to where we were talking about the smells, Ryan said the odor could be energy burn off. Electrical burn leaves a very nauseous smell. If it's a portal related, it's the energy burning off. Wow.
Okay.
That's one guy who I just did an interview last night with and who I consider a good friend. And guy's very knowledgeable in cryptozoology and paranormal stuff. And his specialties are dogmen, Sasquatch, and skinwalkers and Gugway.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Um, and I don't know if you noticed, but I'm also taking notes because
Mhm.
I'm 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 taking information from you, from the audience, and saving that so that later down the road when we're out there investigating, like, hey, Shane or one of his viewers mentioned this, and now we're witnessing it. And right now that you brought that up, it reminded me of when we went on an investigation and we witnessed some branches that were twisting.
Mhm.
We went to a conference not that long ago, and it's slipping my mind, but we were able to network with another person that had a little more knowledge in um, natural energy or what's it called. They had a specific term, and again, it slips my mind. But I brought up what I had witnessed and what I had seen, and he mentioned that when you experience or when there is a growth of a tree and it's binding, that means that there's a high energy, and that tree is following the energy. So I find that to be very interesting as to the comment that was left, that the energy burn off leaves a distinct smell,
Yeah. That's one thing
and
that
it
always
makes
got
sense.
me is there's always some type of smell. And my wife and I, we go out researching up near Shaver Lake, just east of Fresno.
Yeah.
And our first time there, we started seeing the dens, the tree structures, and all that. And I was out playing animal in distress calls like somebody that shouldn't, bringing in
Yeah.
some type of predator, not cryptid related. But I'm out there because my buddy Paul told me, "Hey, go play some animal in distress calls. You might be able to draw these things in." Hey, I'm just trying to get a sighting and I'm out,
Yeah,
But
exactly,
she heard a
exactly.
loud snap and it freaked her out to where she come running over to me and I'm like, I need to stop doing that, huh? It's like, yeah, let's get out of here. But we kept noticing when we were hiking deeper in, we kept smelling like a rotten egg smell. So I don't know if that's related to Sasquatch, but the dead meat uh, smells to me, I think, are more dogman related from what I've read. They smell
Yeah.
like a wet dog, dead meat, foul odor. Sasquatch are more just they have their own musky smell.
Yeah,
to
their own funk.
them. Yeah, their own funk.
Yeah.
We got Carlito in the chat tonight with Cryptid and Paranormal Kingdom, CPK.
Hello.
Thanks for coming on, brother. Honored to have you.
Now, I want to ask you a question since
Yep.
you have been up there in Shaver Lake researching. Have you came across any of the arches, the tree arches in your
Well,
research?
it wasn't exactly in Shaver Lake. We actually went just 2 weeks ago up to Balch Park,
Okay.
and it's really forested up there. The wife wanted to try somewhere different, so me, my son, and the wife all decided to go hiking, and we started going deep in. But it's right off the road, probably 50 yards in. But I just looked over and I see a big old tree just arched, and I'm like, "Hey, there's something to that." So I start walking over there, and it's probably maybe 20 feet high, but it's a perfect,
It's a perfect arch.
yeah, it's a perfect arch. I'll see if I got the photo and I'll post it up right now. Let me see. I'll share it to the screen. Let me see if I can send it. But yeah, it blew my mind. But when we were up in Shaver Lake, we saw more of the tripod looking tree structures or the X woven trees. And
Yes.
then I found
yes.
a den where it looks like, I don't believe it was a hunter's den, but I did find what I believe is a dogman print, because obviously coyotes or I guess you could say it's coyote. It looked larger than a coyote, but there's no wolves in the area.
Yeah.
Because I mean, we're both from California. We both know wolves aren't around here. Maybe Northern California, by the Oregon border, but nothing to where there is an abundance of them down here. Let me see if I can find that. I can share it to you right now. Let's see. Oh, see, I think Hobby just hit me up too. Let's see on Messenger. He said he's restarting his computer right now, so he should be on here shortly. Let's see where that tree arch is. Here we go. I think this is a good one right here. Well, how was your day today, brother? Sorry for the quietness.
No.
Do you have to work today, or did you guys get to go out and spend time with the
just
family?
catching up with little things here and there, running errands with the family.
Oh, right on.
Yeah. Trying to stay away from this terrible heat outside.
Oh, I know. I mean, up in your location, was it over 100 degrees?
I think it hit 101 today, but
wow.
I mean, all that smoke from the fires comes through here, and it just makes the heat feel more intense. So I mean, I'm trying to avoid it as best I can.
Just try to stay indoors, right?
Yeah.
I don't blame you. That's what we were doing down here in Bakersfield. We got to about 104. So
yeah.
I still can't hear you guys, man. I'm sorry. Like, can't see you guys or anything.
Still.
That's a bummer.
Yeah. I know. Jesus, you can hear Hobby, right?
Yeah, I can hear him.
Oh, yeah. I see him too. He pops up on screen, but. But yeah, let me get that photo. Let me see. I just pulled it up. Back to the tree structure. Yeah, Jesus, thanks again for coming on, brother. I mean, it's
sure, no problem.
Thanks for taking time out of the day.
Yeah, I love doing this. To me, it's like collaborating with another fellow investigator and just talking about our experiences and what you guys do, what we do, what we can do better, and that's ultimately that's what I want. Just collaborate with you guys, better our research so we can hopefully get better data to put out there, and have a discussion as to what it is that we find, and hopefully it is a cryptid, or maybe it's something else. But we're
That's what
hoping
you
that
can
it's a
only hope
cryptid.
for.
Yeah.
I know that's what we're all hoping for, and that's the thing. I mean, I'm more of a dogman researcher, and I believe that Sasquatch exists, and aliens, and UFOs, and UAPs. They're all out there, skinwalkers as well. But it's just something about the dogman that fascinates me the most. I believe that people have had encounters, like Javi has had them.
Yeah.
Ryan Tremblay's had an encounter. I mean, a lot of credible people have had encounters. I just want to see it with my own two eyes. That's the
Same
thing.
here. Same here. When I see when I see Javier talk about his dogman encounter, I mean, you can tell that it was a very important experience for him, because there's a lot of detail, there's a lot of emotion, it's a genuine experience when you're hearing him in person, or you're seeing him through the screen. I mean, I wish that I was there that day. Unfortunately, well, I shouldn't say unfortunately. Fortunately, I was blessed to be at work that day, and
Mhm.
he got to experience that and share it with everybody. And now I wish that I get a little glimpse. Of course, we've been out there before in the past, and I'm trying to have that experience like he did. And there's strange stuff around that particular area. I know we've gone back out and we've had strange amber lights looking back at us. Unfortunately, we just can't make out what it is. I mean, could it be coyote? Could it be a dogman litter? Or, it could it be a dogman family? There's caves. Um, I'm gonna refer back to the energy. I know that used to be an old rock quarry. There was a smelter there that's just abandoned. So there's a lot of anomalies that can just be a prime area for these dogmans to thrive.
I agree. That's what I really think, that they come and they go, and I think that the fires here in California push them either farther north, but I believe they live in the cave systems, all around. I think
I
they go
agree.
along the streamlines, obviously, but sorry, I'm having internet connect problems right now with the screen. I've got the photo. I'm just trying to drag it over to my second screen, but it's like the second screen's delaying. It's like
No problem.
let's see if I can save it. But back to your encounters or just your sightings. Have you seen anything like that you think that, hey, that was clearly a Bigfoot or that was a
I
dogman?
haven't had the privilege to
Mhm.
witness something. Unfortunately, I'm out when I'm out there. I mean, I'm hoping that I get something. I get to experience or witness something. Uh, Unfortunately, I haven't been able to, but I'm looking forward to it,
Yeah,
and give my own experience, my firsthand account as to what I felt, what I saw, and connect with other people that have seen the same stuff. Again, Javier has had an encounter. There's other people within our network of research that have had that experience as well. And I
hmm
mean, going back to just how they um, they explain their encounters. I mean, it's hard to discredit or say maybe they they're misinterpreting what they saw. It's hard to say that that's the case because of the detail, their body language. I mean, there's no way that they would be making this stuff up, and
yeah.
their stories are genuine.
I totally agree. Ryan even said over at Monster Radio, he said, "You'll see one in due time. You've put the energy out to the universe. It will make sure that the energy is not wasted." I really, truly hope that happens, Ryan. I didn't same with Jesus here. We're hoping to have those encounters, but Jesus, your research as in where I'm different as I'm gonna try to have that dogman sighting or an encounter, and I'm done with all this. It's
Yeah.
I'm not doing this for fame. I'm not doing this for likes. I'm not doing it. I have a passion to see a dog man and to prove to myself that they exist, and I still won't like be completely out of cryptid and paranormal world, I'll still listen. But I mean, going out and hiking, looking for them, seeking them out, I'm just not gonna do that. I mean, I do believe in Bigfoot, and hopefully, I do get a Bigfoot encounter. I mean, when I'm out there snapping video, taking pictures, I don't want to be, oh, this is a Bigfoot, delete. I'm
Yeah,
not looking for
no,
him.
yeah, I totally understand, and I'm glad you brought that up because we have this area called Pictograph, and when I was first taken to this mountain with permission by the owner and Javier, knowing the owner, um, I was hoping that we would, see something because there is no way people are up there. This is a private, small mountain. It's privately owned. There shouldn't be anybody up there. It's rich in cattle, natural wildlife, and we did see some anomalies that correlate to a possible Bigfoot habitat because we saw the upside down tree. We've been up there where oranges get thrown at us, but from where the nearest orchard that had oranges was on the opposite end of the mountain. So there's no way that it could be like a bird. Can you hear me still?
Yeah, I can hear you, brother.
Okay, I don't know. Something
are you
happened
there?
with my video, but I'm okay. So our research not only uh, gives us the opportunity to research the cryptids, but other possible leads. I know I'm going to get a little off topic in regards
No, you're
to
good, brother. Just keep
cryptids,
going. You're good.
but in that area, we've done some with our research. We found that there was an old railroad station that crossed through there, so they could probably loot back from the probation era where there's liquor stashes. I mean, there could probably be a stash of gold. Some robber probably hid in this mountain. So, I mean, I'm open to anything. Um, but like I was saying, I mean, when we're out there, we're searching for evidence of Bigfoot. Now we're searching for evidence of the dogmans because Javier had his encounter here, which we didn't know dogman existed in our backyard, and now pterodactyls also. So
Yeah,
our investigation can take us anywhere.
hey, you guys keep it wide and vast and whatever you guys come across, and that's what I like. That's what Hobbies. When I first heard his encounter, I was like, okay, so there is Dogman. I mean, I listened to Bitcund's show, and some of the ones out of California have already mapped out the areas, and I've visited a couple places where these encounters happen. I didn't personally get the experience or sightings of these dogmen. Maybe it happened a couple of years ago, the cave systems. But maybe going back and looking at the photos, maybe I might find something. Might find it just be pareidolia. I don't know, but I think that almost to have the true encounter is where it is. But like you said, there's dogmen in our backyard. That hey, where are these things hiding at? Up in the trees or deep in the mountains or what? But going back to your tree structure, the arch. Here's the photo I was talking to you about. This was up in Balch Park, California. I took this about 3 weeks ago. And this is the tree. Can you see it?
Yes, I can see it.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if it was shared on the screen. It shows it's sharing, but I'm having some lag time right now. So, but yeah, so that's the tree that we were walking along and it just happened to stand out. So I'm assuming that's Sasquatch related somehow.
That has to be some form of communication among the Bigfoot community. There has to be. I mean, we see a lot of those here too, and I mean, we just can't make them out. And sometimes, when we do come across some of these, they're arched together, meaning you'll have another arch on the adjacent side to this arch.
Yeah, like the X's that go up normally.
Correct.
Right? Like you see them crisscrossed.
Correct.
Okay, I'm having lag time on this. Let's see if I'm gonna stop sharing this screen real quick. Let's see. All right, this should be better.
There is a little bit of lag.
Yeah, that's what I'm seeing that too. I'm just like, no, but Carlito said, I think some people are making up having a dogman encounter though a lot. That does go around. I do believe
Yeah,
you have to. I was talking to D.A. Roberts and Ryan Tremblay last week, and they're like, you have to look at people when they talk and then repeat that same question that you ask them. And if they start, getting jittery or, that's when you can probably tell that it's made up and you got to read someone. But like when you see them start getting really, terrified, the goosebumps, and they start shaking, I mean, it's genuine. And like you said with
it's
Hobby's
different.
encounter,
Yes, yeah,
yeah,
it's
Hobby,
different.
Hobby's not trying to profit off his.
No,
His was literally down in the riverbank and it ran across, and you saw the red eyes. And I've listened to his encounter probably 3 or 4 times, and that's why it got me into wanting to go to that area. And I mean, one day maybe in the next few months or something, when you've got time, and if I'm free and Hobby's free, maybe we can all go out. I know we've talked about Hobby and I've talked in the last week about maybe mapping out certain areas and just going and seeing. And I told him like, hey, whatever you've said, I won't go there unless you guys go. I don't
yeah,
want to go trenching in on something that you guys might go do. And then, like I say, Avocado Lake, for example, was one. And I'm just like, man, it has a weird, strange, eerie feeling,
it
to the
does.
area.
It really does.
Like the
Um,
electromagnetic field. I mean, I don't know. I'm just probably, I felt something weird just being in that area. Like we were walking along the lake and something watching you, I guess, I couldn't tell you what it was.
and I find that very fascinating that you feel that way because there are high-powered transmission lines that cut through that through the Kings River, and
Yes.
I don't remember the exact location, but I know Javier got a report of some UFOs in this particular area, and those transmission lines cut through that area, and you could just feel the vibration, the electricity running through those transmission lines, and it's so weird. It really is
You get an
weird.
eerie feeling, huh? Like
Yeah, yeah.
almost supernatural feeling. Nestor said, I've talked to him, been around Jesus and Javier. It's always awesome to connect with these guys. Awesome. Nestor, welcome aboard, brother. Glad to have you here tonight.
Yeah, Nestor. We know Nestor personally. We stay in touch, and when things do pop up here locally, I'm not too big on social media. But he'll see something and shoot it over to me, and that's for my opinion on it. And we just have that collaboration where recently he shared a photo of some sheep dead on the ground near a road, and I mean it's an area that's been known to have Bigfoot sightings, I believe, and it seemed rather odd that the sheep and its calf would just fall dead all of a sudden on the side of the road. So I just started thinking, I mean, logically, could it have been that these sheep just got lost and died of thirst? I mean, that's one possibility, but there's many others. Now we gotta see, were they mutilated? Was there some kind of um, strange lights up in the air the night that or the a couple nights before these sheep were found dead? I mean, I just love uh, doing this type of research and just doing the process of elimination of possibly what it could be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I agree with that. Now, since you guys over at Cryptid 559 are so vast in your research or whatever cryptid you guys are doing or what come across, what is your favorite, Jesus? Do you prefer going for the dogman, or do you rather see a Sasquatch or pterodactyl or?
Personally, I'm rooting for the dogman. I wanna experience it.
Mm-hmm,
Second, the pterodactyl,
mm-hmm,
because of the strangeness, the beauty of it. I personally, I'm gonna tell you that I think it's a beautiful bird,
mm-hmm,
regardless of what it is. It's just so different. Um, like I mentioned earlier, there is no feathers on it. It's a leather-like skin, and I wish I mean I'm being serious with you guys, where I wish I had the ability to take the photo of this creature when we first saw it, because it it was such a different type of experience. The screech, the way it moved, it was just so majestic as it glides through the air. So, I mean, those would be my top two: the Dogman and the Pterodactyl. Bigfoot, I feel uh, it's had its time in the limelight, where where everybody has had some kind of a small encounter with this creature here locally, and we still haven't seen much of the Dogman or the Pterodactyl.
Here, let me real quick. I'm going to take my headphones off.
Okay.
Hey, I'm so sorry, Jesus. I was listening the whole time. Javi just called me through Messenger, so let me see if I can take this off and add you.
And if anybody in the chat wants to leave a question for me while we fix this technical difficulty, I'll be more than happy to answer it. I just can't answer it directly on the messenger. Miriam, I'm going to read out your comment. I hate when you get that feeling of fear for no apparent reason. Sometimes it's your sixth sense just telling you, be careful, there's something out there. Because going back to that story when we were in the eucalyptus trees, and I personally had that worried, uneasy feeling, and Javier, for some reason, that day didn't feel it, so he moved on forward. Yes.
Okay. Real quick, we got Javi on speakerphone. So, Javi, welcome to the show, brother.
Thanks, man. Like I said, I apologize, Shane.
No, you're good, man. Let's see. Can you guys hear Javi? Let me see. Let me turn the speaker. Put the phone right by the speaker, so maybe that might help. Javi, welcome to the show, brother. You want to give us a brief bio on yourself?
I'm sorry, go ahead.
You want to give us a brief description of yourself?
Yeah, let's see.
Can you guys hear Javi?
Can you hear me?
He's a little faint.
Little faint.
Yeah.
Let's see if I can turn the volume up real quick. Testing. Yes, I can hear you just fine. Let's see, messenger. Okay. All right, the phone's right there next to the computer. So, Javi, if you want to just tell us about yourself, bro.
Yeah. I started doing this, well, I had a UFO encounter back in the late 80s. Ever since then, I started getting into I was fascinated by the paranormal and the cryptid. Obviously, the Bigfoot was the main thing, I was always interested in. Can you guys hear me? We're good?
Yeah, Jesus said he could hear you. I can hear you just fine. Let me see if anyone in the comments can you guys hear Javi talk?
How about now?
Yeah, he sounds kind of low. Carlito just said he sounds low. Dev says she can hear you.
Not really well. well? Or
She just said yes, and then Miriam said that not really well.
okay, let me try something.
Okay.
Can you hear me better this way?
He said he can. Yep. I can hear you just clear, but just make sure some of the people in the comments can hear.
Huh? I don't know why it's slow.
Yeah, Carly.
I'm telling you, man. Every time we do some, even Ask Jesus, you guys have experienced it.
Yeah.
Issues going on. It's like, dude, come on, man.
Yeah. Joe Mizell said not really hearing well, kind of muffled. So, and Miriam just said, yes, I can hear you better now. Okay.
You can hear me better
Yeah.
now?
I'm trying to put the phone as close as I can to the, the microphone. So you've had every type of encounter?
Yeah. We had a UFO encounter back in the 80s.
Uh-huh.
Bigfoot. I was always interested in Bigfoot, intrigued by it. And then, just throughout my life, always watching up in the skies, looking for UFOs, and then all of a sudden, oh, sorry. Dang it. Sorry about that.
No, you're good, man. You're good.
Just going back to how we started the channel, I'm gonna go ahead and start that. It was a Bigfoot video that was recorded. I don't know if it's who's already talked about, but it was a farmer that had a encounter a family of Bigfoot on his property, and it was near our area, near Fresno, California. And when we saw that video, it's like, dude, the Bigfoots are down in the valley. And then ever since then, me and Jesus and my cousin, we all started going down. We started going down to that area, Avocado Lake area, and you know where it's at, Shane.
Yeah.
And ever since then, dude, we started experiencing weird stuff. And then until I had my dogman encounter, I never thought I would have a dogman encounter. I heard of dogman, but I've never. Yeah, I never saw it. It was in the West Coast, and it was just crazy,
Yeah. And when your dogman encounter happened, how long ago was it? Was it back in 2018 or 2019?
It was in 2017.
Oh, 2017.
Yeah, it was June of 2017.
Wow. And then was it just a brief description? I mean, I've listened to it a few times, but for the guests that haven't heard it, how long did it take, and what do you want to start from, what you were doing to where it happened, and then the final result?
Yeah. Well, I mean, you have the pictures there?
Yes. You want me to start sharing them right now, or do you want me to wait till you describe your dogman encounter first?
I can do it while you're. I'm watching it on YouTube, so I can.
Okay.
I'm watching the stream on YouTube, so I can do it.
Okay. Let me just pop up my second screen real quick and pull those photos up.
Sure.
And then we will go photo by photo. Let's see.
I'm trying to mute this thing. Sorry about that.
No, you're good, man. I'm just glad you're able to join on, and it's good that we had Jesus in to fill in. I mean, compared to a week and a half ago when I had Paul, he was about 20 minutes late in, and it's all good. He fell asleep, but it's all good. We're all here now, so
yeah, thanks.
Yeah. Let's just share the screen real quick, and it should pop up. And I believe your first photo is the one that you wanted me to share these in sequence. So we're starting off with the van. Let's see.
Okay, the van. Okay, so that's where we parked.
Okay, just get it on here real quick.
That's usually where we park. It's by a bridge. And there we go. Okay, now. Sorry, I was trying to lower the volume on my computer so I can see what's going on.
Okay. Yeah, I'm kind of, like I say, I'm streaming pretty slow right now myself, so.
Okay, so it's all right. Let me, so we park, the first picture would be the van with that's the area where we park. It's off a turnout by a bridge. It's just north of Avocado Lake. And me and my cousin, we had just gotten some night vision goggles. and we wanted to test them. So we went out there this particular evening during the week, and it was just at sundown. And so we were just, it was getting dark, so we were trying them out, and they're not, your high-tech night vision goggles. They're it was the brand is one of them is the Nerf gun brand.
Mm-hmm.
And we were just testing them out. They actually work pretty good.
Right on.
And another one was a toy one, but I can't remember the brand. We still have it there, but we're trying that one now, and that one worked kind of not as good as the Nerf one, but we were messing with it. My cousin had the Nerf one. He was looking down the river from that area where we're parked. He was looking down to the river, and I was using the other one, and I was scoping all the mountain ridge around us.
This photo right here?
Messing with him, getting a feel for him.
Mm-hmm.
And then my cousin, tells me, "Hey, dude, I see something." So right there where I'm standing, I'm looking. That's the river bottom. That's the Kings River. So right there where those big trees are along the edge of the river, that's where he saw what looked like eyes through the night vision. So he was telling me, "Dude, look at I'm seeing what look like eyes," and he was showing me. So I look, and sure enough, they look like eyes staring right back at us, and we couldn't see because it was already dark.
Mm-hmm.
So I told him, just keep an eye on it and see what it does, see if it blinks or see if it moves or does anything. So he was focused on that. Meanwhile, I was looking around, the mountain ridges, and then so I turn around behind us. So I turn around and I don't know if you can get the next picture.
Yeah, do you want me to go to the next one? I mean, I was just going to try to see, where did you see the eyes? Was that in these
right
bushes?
there where you're zooming in,
Uh-huh.
those trees, that's where the eyes were.
Oh. And what color was the eye shine, Javi?
Well, through the night vision, they were really bright.
Really bright. Okay.
Really bright, yeah.
All right.
They look like eyes.
Mm-hmm. And this photo.
They were staring right back at us.
Uh-huh.
And so he was, focused on that right there, that picture there. So I turn around, and a little bit more to the right. I didn't capture the whole area, but a little bit more to the right of that picture there that you're seeing. That's when I turned around, and I brought my night vision goggles down to my chest, and then all of a sudden I see this movement, like this huge shadow figure movement that was waving its arms up in the air, and I couldn't see the head, but I could see all the arms. It looked like a human, but a huge human, like a giant. I could see all the muscle tone on the arms. I could see the hands, and then it was waving like it was either upset or it was trying to get my attention. So, but when it was doing that, it moved its arms. It brought it all back down. It got on all fours, and it turned to the side.
Mm-hmm.
It started running on all fours on that middle ridge there. You can see in the picture
Right here?
there's a little in the middle. There's a little ridge there.
Oh, right here, huh?
There.
Yeah.
So it ran across on all fours that way. Meanwhile, it didn't make any noise, Shane.
Mm-hmm.
This thing was silent. It was stealth.
Stealth, right? Apex Predator style.
Yeah, and I remember my cousin was there, and he was still focused down below in the river, and he didn't hear anything. And meanwhile, I'm looking at all this, and I'm trying to remember everything that I'm seeing here, and it's on all fours. It's running, and then it reaches to a portion of this mountain here where there's a crease. I don't know if there's another picture, but there's a crease in the mountain. And when it got to that point, it lifted its arms up in the air, and it grabbed the side of the hill there, the mountain, and then it leaped. And then that's when I saw like the thighs. I saw the legs, all muscular. I saw the legs all muscular, all muscles. The calves. I saw the calves. I saw its back. It goes down to a V shape. This thing was muscle, like it was like a bodybuilder.
Mm-hmm.
And his arms, I saw the hands again because the hands went up in the air. I was able to see the hands with claws. It had claws on it. And then the arms, it had all that muscle tone.
How tall would you say it was?
I still couldn't see the head.
Oh, really?
Where's the head on this thing? I'm thinking it's a Sasquatch.
Mm-hmm.
But all this time I'm thinking, oh, I'm seeing a Sasquatch, and then it leaped and it grabbed the side of the hill. It leaped, and when it pulled itself up the first time, it turned its head to the right,
Mm-hmm.
and that's when I saw the snout, the canines, and the pointed ears. And then I go, whoa, what the hell? What the heck is this? It's not a Bigfoot. And then it did it again. It raised its hands up in the air again, grabbed the side of the mountain again. Then it leaped for the second time. And then it crawled on its belly, like really low to the ground, like a spider.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and it went over the hill there.
Wow.
Went over that ridge.
Interesting.
And meanwhile, no noise, nothing. It didn't, even when it was jumping and all this, it didn't make a sound.
Wow. Did you think there was more of a supernatural feel to it? If it wasn't making any sounds, like any gravel being turned up as it was running, or do you believe it was just,
Dude, it was
flesh and blood?
It was there.
Uh-huh.
Gene, it was there. It was solid because you couldn't see through it.
Mm-hmm.
I can see the whole. It was dark. You can see the whole outline of it, and it was covering what was behind it
Mm-hmm.
as it was going. So it was solid. You couldn't see through it, but it's weird because it didn't make a sound, and it moved kind of funny too, Shane.
Like a zigzag formation, would you say?
It was almost like it was like how can I say it? It was moving, but it was moving fast.
Mm-hmm.
For the size it was fast, but it was moving like how can I say it? Like smooth, like drifting almost.
Like elegant?
Yeah.
Was it running in a straight formation or zigzag formation? Because the stuff I've researched is dogmen won't run at a straight line. Like if you're trying to shoot them, they'll go at a zigzag formation kind of thing if they're going to attack you,
It only ran that piece in that straight line, like I'm telling you, in that middle trail there.
Uh-huh.
It ran that middle trail, but it wasn't long, that little trail. So then it went up the hill.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it wasn't a long piece.
So it was just getting out of Dodge after it witnessed you guys. Now, what variant do you believe it was? Did it have more of the German Shepherd or the wolf look to it, or did it have more of the hyena or the baboon look to it?
It had
Or the chow?
German Shepherd.
German Shepherd. Okay. And how tall would you say it was? About 7 feet?
It was at least 8 to 10 feet tall.
Oh, wow.
At least, and then the chest was at least 4 to 5 feet wide.
Wow. Like you weren't lying. It was a bodybuilder size, right? Man.
Yeah, exactly.
Terrifying.
And this thing could have jumped from where it was at to where we're at. It could have jumped and got us, right? I mean, if it wanted to.
Clear, yeah, within seconds, 2 to 3 seconds, it would have been right there.
Yeah, exactly. And then I told my cousin, once this dogman went over the hill there, I told my cousin, hey, dude, I just saw something, dude.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a Bigfoot. It's not a Sasquatch. It had a dog head on it. Well, you didn't tell me. And this, dude, I did not want to break visual. I wanted to remember everything that I saw.
Uh-huh.
And I wanted to watch this thing where it was going. And he was all upset because I didn't tell him. And then I go, dude, we got to get out of here because we don't have anything to protect ourselves from it. This thing is massive.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we have some stuff, but it's all close quarter type stuff that, no way. If this thing gets real close to you, you're done.
Oh, yeah. I mean, do you guys even pack any firearms or just more like knives? Because, I mean, I carry just, 357 and a knife.
We got tasers and stuff like that,
Uh-huh.
knives, axes, but no, we don't have a fire gun or anything like that.
Oh, I see. I mean, just something that might be able to give them a distraction just so you guys can get out of there, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Man. No, like I said, I've heard your encounter, and that's what got me wanting to get out in the field because, for 4 months of doing this from August to December, before I even created West Coast, I was researching all the stuff online, and I came across your channel, and I was just like, wow, so there really are dogmen out here in California, especially the Central Valley, and there's been multiple sightings from where you guys were up at Avocado Lake up to Shaver, and even Northern California, Santa Cruz area, and down to LA, so it's...
Yeah.
I mean, I appreciate what you and Jesus do, brother. Your guys' research is incredible. What your evidence, what you guys show us is incredible. And I couldn't thank you enough for what you do. And I wanted to ask you, when did you join the NADP?
After this encounter, I was looking on the internet, just like you, Shane, when you got all into it.
Uh-huh.
I went on the internet. I started looking at. I had heard of Dogman, but I know it was more to the Midwest.
Uh-huh.
You know, Wisconsin, Chicago, Illinois area,
Mhm.
Michigan, all that area. But then I came across the NADP website. So then I sent them an email. I wanted to join. I told them about my encounter, and sure enough, Jody got back to me, and then it was Dev, and then some other representative got back to me. So that's how I started with them.
Interesting. So you've been part with them for a few years now. Then it sounds like. Have you done any field investigations for them, or gone on any calls? Like, did Dev ever send you like, hey, there was a sighting, let's say Santa Cruz, for example, and did you get to go out and do any personal investigation or talk to the eyewitness?
Not yet. I have not gone on one.
Mm-hmm.
I know a while back she had contacted us about one in Sacramento.
Mm-hmm.
It's not in Sacramento, but it's east of Sacramento.
Mm-hmm.
A small town that's close to Sacramento, but we haven't gone up there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I know I was talking to Jeff. He's a part of the NADP as well. He's down in Santa Barbara, but we were talking about, I know Deb's mentioned that she'd like to get a team together out here, and maybe you, me, Jesus, Jeff, and maybe a few others who are part of it out here. Maybe we can make a super team and go out and do a dogman investigation one day. That would be pretty interesting. If you were down for that, I know Jeff said he was, and I'm like, I'm down, but we all got, our personal lives, with
that's
work and family, and then of course work and family, and friends, and come before cryptids. But I mean, this is like our hobby. We all have a common interest in all this. So, but yeah, I wanted to go over this photo with you right here. This looks like I see the canine prints. I've been examining it this morning, and you can see, I mean, I don't know, can you see it on your screen, Javi?
Yeah.
Okay.
So that picture was actually the next day. Me and my cousin went back out to that area
Mhm.
today, and we found that print there. And that was leading down to the river.
Leading down to the river, okay.
Yeah, and where I'm pointing there is that's where the claw marks underneath that weed there.
Yeah. Here, let me pull up the drawing and see if people can kind of get a better visual right here.
I think I sent you the other picture too.
Is this the one right here? Can you see it? Is it outlined in neon green?
Yeah, that one.
Okay. Yeah, so this is the one, so people can kind of get a better visual drawing it out.
Yeah, and I don't know if Jesus had told you, but there's cattle in that area.
Mm-hmm.
But every time we go out there, we only see one, and it's a big old bull that's out there under a tree, and it wasn't that. It wasn't a bear. There was no way. People tell me, "Oh, you saw a bear." I go, "No, it was not a bear."
It's not very bear-like. Bears have more of the 5 digits. I see 3 to 4, but I mean, obviously there was some weight to it to give this type of impression inside the ground. I mean, you can clearly see it even when you draw it out. I mean, you see 3. I saw 4 points. Maybe my eyesight's messed up. Let me throw my glasses real quick. I could probably see it a little better. Let's see. Yeah, I'm seeing 1, 2, 3, 4 right here, and then this being the heel. I don't know if you can. Yeah. Maybe I need to zoom in a little bit more, but yeah, I mean, it obviously looks more canine to me.
Exactly, and when I saw it, I didn't see the actual feet. I couldn't see the feet.
Mm-hmm.
I could just see up to the calves. I couldn't see the actual feet of it. But yeah, dude, where that print is, it's all compacted dirt. Again, It's right next to the road.
Yeah.
That dirt is all compacted. So to make an imprint on that soil there, it had a weight to it,
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, this thing was at least 8 to 10 feet tall. It was massive.
And I know you said you didn't get to see the feet type, but did you get to see the leg structure? Was it digitigrade or was it more hominid?
Dude, it looked more human. It was
really?
Human. The legs were human.
Interesting. Okay.
It was human. I mean, at least up to the calves. I mean, like I said, I couldn't see the feet, but the calves were human. Like the
human. It's just straight, the human hominid leg structure, right? Just the straight, narrow, didn't have the back bending knee.
No, it wasn't like the backwards or anything
Yeah, that would be more. That'd be almost like the type ones, I believe. So almost, but with that's where I don't believe in this whole, the 7 variants. I believe there's just different breeds of them. Just like you don't get 2 dog breeds that look the same. I mean, I do reference that, that chart that it's been circulating around for a few years, and I believe 2 of those on there are either Gugway and aren't Dogman because they have the baboon looking snout to them. But what I think your species that you saw was the one that, yeah, it might have been a bit type 1, but you said it had more of the German Shepherd head. So right there just shows you.
German Shepherd head.
Yeah.
What the heck?
That's what it means. There's different breeds of them, but now
there's different ones. There's different types.
Oh yeah. Now what's up with this photo? Is this the same area where the dogman you saw ran up? Was this like the hill?
Which photo is that? I'm trying to.
Oh, let me see. It's probably lagging on your end, brother. On mine.
Side, so
okay.
Just you wanna describe it to me? I can tell you.
It's a hillside with it looks like some dead brush, and
a crease? Is there a crease in the middle?
It looks like there is. Yeah. I mean, Jesus, can you hear?
Yes, I can, and I actually was muted, so I don't take up any of the bandwidth. But as what Javier has explained to me, this crease right here, where you're pointing to with your little pointer, that's where the creature went up when Javier startled it, and you can see it's very rocky, and we've tried to get near that area to analyze the rock. I mean, it's very brittle. It's very brittle. So, I mean, whatever he saw must have been very strong. And I don't know what type of creature has that ability. I mean, as you guys can hear, Javier can recall a lot of detail. You can notice it in in the way he describes it. I mean, he was trying to soak it up as much as he could, but to me, I mean, it's just very interesting, and I wish I get that opportunity to witness what he saw as well.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. And I think that the more you go out in the field, and like Javier going out in the field, we're going to eventually run across these, and it's just a matter of time. And now I was going to ask you, Bobby, do you think that the veil is thinning, or do you just think that these things are just now just starting to give more, like they just don't care that they're being noticed? Or
I think the veil, honestly, I think the veil is thinning. It's been the last couple of years. It has to do. I believe it has to do with CERN. Honestly.
Yeah. Especially.
I think that's a big part of it.
Do you think that they were trying to open up portals, or do you think they're trying to create a black hole, or do you think they were?
There's portals already out there, and I don't know if Jesus has talked about that area, but we feel that there's a portal in that river there, and with all these power lines, and it could be a natural energy source there already. But with these power lines going all through that area, I think it's just amped up the energy, and it just caused these portals to open there.
Yeah, and that's what we were talking about earlier before you jumped on, was about how when I went out back in January, because after I'd watched your video, I was like, hey, this is only, an hour and a half, 2 hour drive for me. So the family and I went up there, and I said, I got just a weird feeling, just the electromagnetic field, like the hairs on your arm kind of stand up. Like, it just didn't feel like, a walk down the beach. It felt eerie,
Right, exactly. In the day, it's one thing. Shane, at night, when it transitions to night, man, you can feel it, man. You can feel that atmosphere change.
Yeah. Maybe I'll have to go up there one night and go during the night and just check it out, man. Because I drove by that bridge where the encounter happened, and I thought it was more by the lake, but actually in Avocado Lake. And that's when the family and I, we went on a 2-mile hike just around the whole lake, and I was like, I was taking pictures, 1,000 photos I think I took, everything in the bush line. But I was like, then I went back and revisited your encounter, and I was like, oh, wait, it was more up by the bridge. We drove that way, but I was like, no, it's down by the lake. So I was like, man, maybe I'll have to make a trip too up there. So maybe when the heat cools down, maybe we can all go out together. Maybe we'll go hit up an evening or something.
Yeah, and I said we had to go during the week because the weekend it's just too busy. Too many people are out there.
Yeah, and maybe I can take a week off of work, and maybe just even if we go up on a Wednesday night or something, we can just spend an hour or two up there, and just maybe we can all collaborate on our research and what we find.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've done it. I've taken a few friends of ours from Clovis, they're from the Fresno area, and we've gone out there late at night and stayed up there a couple hours, just sky watching and just observing the area.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't know if Jesus has told you, but we don't go out searching for these things, Shane. We don't go out. We just park, and it comes to us, Shane.
Oh, interesting. So you guys aren't going hiking deep, 3 miles into the woods and trying to find them. They come to you.
No, we don't.
Interesting.
And
okay.
Especially at night, we do not go. We park and we observe and listen, and dude, stuff starts happening, and these things come around.
Wow.
It's like they know that we're there. They know that we're there. I don't know if it's our scent they pick up.
Oh yeah, I believe that's what it is. It's not just your scent, but I believe you guys being more open-minded and having questions and answers that they could probably feel that you're not out there to try to get the $1 million photo. You're just trying to get out there just to, observe them and, research them, and maybe they feel more comfortable to you, maybe the Dogman and the Bigfoot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now with this photo, it looks like the mountain ridge right here. What can you see it on your?
That one's in the dark, right?
Yeah, it looks dark. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it was a little darker than that. I was just trying to get you guys to see how dark it was when I saw it. It was a little darker than that.
Okay. So it was like the sun's literally going down, right? And then this is what you're seeing over the mountain range, right?
Yeah. So it was darker, a little darker than this, and but I was still able to see the outline of it because it was darker than the dark.
Oh, wow. Yeah, but you can see just a little bit of sunlight still left in the horizon.
Yeah.
All right.
So, yeah, it was darker, a little darker. And also, I usually don't say this, but when I saw that creature, that Dogman go up the hill, I don't know if it was hair or it was ripped clothing. Shane, it had like ripped shorts. I don't know if it was the hair that looked like shorts, but it looked like ripped shorts.
Wow. So do you think you might have possibly, I don't know, let me ask you and Jesus this. Do you guys believe in werewolves and this whole shape-shifting, or do you guys kind of say, that's not real? That's more Hollywood.
Dude, anything's possible now.
Yeah. Jesus, what's your thoughts?
I'm on board with this the skinwalker theory.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wow. And I don't know if you guys are aware of Steven Noxian Barrios. He's out here in California by Tahoe. He was tracking what he calls a wolf man, but he says it's a skinwalker. He's got the prints and everything. There's obviously skinwalkers out here in California.
Yeah.
So keep the open theory about, was it a dog man? Like if you said it looked like it had ripped shorts on, Bobby, it could be definitely a skinwalker. But the size, I don't know about the size. I just my own personal opinion of research is that skinwalkers are more into the 6 to 6.5 foot range, and the dogmen are more 7 to 8 feet, and possibly even 8 to 10 feet. Maybe you saw, the super soldier size. I'm just you can only go off what you saw, though, Javi.
And I've asked around the same question you just were telling me right now. I've asked, do skinwalkers get this tall?
Mm-hmm.
Do they get this tall and this muscular?
Mm-hmm.
Because of the pictures that I've seen, they're not muscular. They're just tall, thin.
Yeah, they look frail almost.
They're more supernatural.
Yeah.
But the answer that I got was, and they were Native American, and they told me the new generation are working with black magic, and yes, it's possible that they can't be this tall now, this muscular.
Mm-hmm.
That's the answer that I got.
Oh wow. Okay. So then, like I say, I keep an open mind to it all too. I kind of do tally marks when I research. Like, okay, looking for, okay, well, skinwalkers only get to size. They're multiple encounters, and then it's like you start tally marking it off and kind of just say, okay, well, it seems like the general idea is that they're about this size, but like, hey, you just brought up something to me that I've never even heard, but the younger generation dipping into the black magic, and hey, I mean, William Nighthawk probably tell us that these things do get 8 to 10 feet tall. I mean,
yeah, they said it's possible because the younger generation are doing, they're mixing stuff.
yeah,
They're experimenting with new stuff.
wow. I mean,
And so it's okay. So I don't know if it was a skinwalker. I don't know if it's
what was your personal belief? Do you think it was more Dogman, or do you believe it was a skinwalker?
I want to say it was more Dogman.
Dogman. That's what I kind of got for the first time I listened to it too, just because the way it acts, running off the hillside,
Yeah. It ran on all fours. I know some people say they've seen them run on twos, but this one ran on all fours.
Yeah.
Then it crawled like a spider over the hill there.
See, I've also heard Sasquatch crawling like spiders too. Have you ever heard that, where they kind of get down?
Yes, I've heard that.
Yeah.
I've heard that Sasquatch. There could be a baboon type one
Mm-hmm.
that has the snout and the canines. But the only problem I have with that is that I haven't seen pictures with baboons with pointy ears, and it doesn't look like it doesn't look like a baboon.
Mm-hmm.
From what I saw, I mean, I'm not saying there could be baboon ones out there, but the one that I saw, I don't think it was.
Your theory just comes back down to it was just simply a dogman, right?
Yeah, I had that German Shepherd head.
The German Shepherd,
My brother has German Shepherds, and it's when I saw that head, I go, "What the heck? That's a German Shepherd head."
Yeah.
It's just like it was just like exactly like it.
Mm-hmm.
And I could see the canines. It had its mouth open. I could see the canines and the pointed ears. And it was looking to the side. It was looking at us.
Now, how brief was it? Was it all within a minute, or would you say this happened within?
Yeah, it was all within a minute, Shane.
Wow, literally just a brief sighting.
And then it went up the hill. In about a minute or less than a minute.
Yeah,
this thing moved fast. It was fast.
Interesting. Now, this photo right here with it looks like a downed eucalyptus tree hidden up or just put up into the tree line right here. I mean, this doesn't look natural to me. I mean, that's my opinion. I mean, trees fall on top of each other all the time. But I honestly think there's something this wasn't natural. But can you see the photo, Bobby?
I'm still lagging. If you want to ask Jesus.
Jesus, do you see this photo, brother?
Yeah. Yes, I do.
Okay. What's your thoughts on this? It's a down tree?
I'm trying to remember where this location is, but as far as I can tell, it almost looks like this branch was probably placed. I would have to see the tree further up, but I personally don't think this was a down branch and it just so happened to land there.
In between,
it looks a little too big.
I was reviewing.
I see that one. I see it now.
You see it now? Okay.
Yeah, it's just really slow on my end over
here. Yeah, I'm kind of streaming off of a tablet, so I've got a monitor plugged into it and sharing screens, and I mean that's probably what it comes down to is sharing the screens. Probably why we're having issues. But no, Javi, you want to give us, if you can see it, what's your thoughts on it?
Yeah, okay, so this area right here, Shane, is near Fresno, actually Clovis, California.
Okay.
I'm not gonna give the exact location because when we do stuff, those areas tend to be cleaned out. Like somebody goes in and cleans everything out. So I don't give locations no more on my videos. Exact locations.
No, and I respect that. I think that you guys do that to protect. Not just if this is cryptid, it protects their habitat, which I think that you guys are awesome about not sharing. Just like when you say you don't want to share your location, I'm all about that. I'm all about people's privacy and preserving these areas for these creatures. If it is cryptid related, even if it's regular, apex predators like a mountain lion or a bear.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's what happened at Avocado Lake. I say Avocado Lake, but that area was shut down after that video went viral.
Mm-hmm.
That Avocado Lake was shut down for about 6-7 months.
Wow. Just because of that one video?
Well, they didn't say it was for the video. They just said it was, they were cleaning out dead trees in there. They were doing a cleaning process.
Another cover-up.
It's never been closed like that.
Yeah. That
was just kind of suspicious there.
Yeah, it sounds like cover-up, you know, the DNR getting involved or something.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm going to go back to the video that we did about the dog man. When my cousin went out, we made that video.
Mm-hmm.
There was that white vehicle at the end of the video. I don't know if you noticed, but that white vehicle was...
Yeah, it circled around 3 times. I saw that. Or was it twice? I thought it was 3 times.
Okay, so I don't talk about it in the video. I just say that this white vehicle passed a couple of times. So we followed a chain after it passed us at the end. We followed it, and me and my cousin followed it. We were following him, and it went up to Pine Flat Dam. Okay, and we stayed a distance back from him, but he noticed us when he got to the dam. He noticed us, and he pulled off to the road. And me and my cousin, you know, I told my cousin, wow, he saw us already because he pulled over. Just before the bridge in front of Pine Flat Dam. I don't know if you've ever been out there, but there's a bridge that goes in front of Pine Flat Dam, and he pulled off to the right just before it. So then me and my cousin, I told him, we're gonna pass him, we're gonna go over the bridge, and we're gonna make a U-turn, and we're gonna park looking at him from the opposite side of the river.
Mm-hmm.
So we did that. We passed him. This thing had all tinted windows. Couldn't see who was in there. There was no markings on the truck. I didn't see the plates. I wish I remember seeing the plate, but I didn't see the plates. I don't know if it was government or not. So we pass him. We go across the bridge. We make a U-turn, and we park, and we're facing him. Now all of a sudden, he gets back on the road, and he's crossing the bridge.
Mm-hmm.
So he's following. So now here we go again. So then he ends up parking. He passes the bridge, and he parks right across from us from the road. So now we're like staring at each other, but on the opposite side of the road. And my cousin's, he's just parked there. Like, what? It's all right. I think we were eating some snacks that we had. We didn't do anything wrong. We're not doing anything wrong. And he goes, I told my cousin, no, we're not doing anything wrong. Just like, you know, I don't care if he has a problem, he can come out and tell us. So he was there for about a few minutes. Then he rolled down the driver's side window halfway down.
Mm-hmm.
You could see there was one person in there, but you couldn't really see the face. And then I looked over there for a couple of minutes. You know, I just kept staring at him. And finally, he rolled his window up, and then he got back on the road, made a U-turn behind us, went behind our truck real slow, passed us real slow, and then he took off.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
So you think he was more? Do you think not maybe government? Do you think he was more shadow agency, kind of, you know, just one of those 3-lettered ABC, you know, lettered agencies, or
these unknown agencies.
Yeah, I mean, watching the video, and you do see it. It was a white vehicle. It just you did circle 2 to 3 times. It seemed eerie, you know, after watching it.
Yeah, and I knew something was up with him because it didn't seem right.
Mm-hmm.
It just didn't feel right, Shane. You know, it's like we got that feeling from him. That's why we followed him. It's like, this guy's, I don't know, he's either onto us or he knows about what we did. There's just something about it. So that's why we followed him, see where he's going.
Now, have you guys had any, when you and Javi go out, or Jesus go out, have you had any other problems since then, or?
Well, actually, at another, we call it Pictograph Mountain. I don't know if you come talk to you about that, but it's another area that we have, and I'm not giving that location away, but that's where a lot of strangeness, a lot of weird stuff happens there. Mm-hmm. We actually put game cams up there, and we caught a picture of the white vehicles, and I know the owner of the property.
Oh, wow.
Okay, so I know the owner of the property. That's why we were able to go in there.
Mm-hmm.
And he's asking me, hey, I got these white vehicles in my orchard. They're driving in my fields. Or, you know anything about it? I go, no, I don't know who they are. So we were able to capture a photo of one of them on one of our game cams.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I don't know how they know that we're there. Like, I'm thinking of monitoring our channel. That's why a lot of this technical issues go on.
I think so too, brother. You were telling me when I think I did my very first interview with Andrew, you're like, hey, be careful about mentioning, government and all that. They're watching. So I do believe it. I mean,
get their their near a sighting, their all their information. Okay, there was a sighting here, so let's go to this area. You know what I mean?
mm-hmm.
And I
Yeah.
think they're just monitoring the phones. Our phones started acting. As soon as we started doing this, Shane, our phones started acting up. All three of us. It's mine and Chris.
Oh, wow.
We weren't getting texts. A couple of days later, we were getting texts. Emails weren't going through. Pictures weren't going through.
Do you think it was just the field area where you were at? Maybe it was just a dead zone, or do you believe it honestly was the government, probably hacking
I don't know
into
if
your?
it was the government, but there's something going through. There's something going on.
Especially with all three of your guys' phones, not just anyone's phone in there. It's all just the three of you.
For example, if I had a theory or something particular about like a location that we were in, it almost seemed that it went through a third party. It was kind of viewed and okay, it's clean, let it go through because I text messages almost go get delivered immediately. But for some reason, I would send a text right now. He wouldn't receive it for at least 10 minutes. And like, wait a minute, that's kind of odd. I mean, we're in town. There's no way. But we caught on to some of the key words. And so now and this happens quite often where I'm doing something and then all of a sudden I get a theory or something interesting, something that I find interesting and maybe he'll find interesting as well. So I'll kind of code the message a little. And I mean, we haven't had any, at least he hasn't mentioned of any issues with it. But I mean, I found that if I kind of word it a certain way, it goes through. But if I word it directly, like, hey, we're talking about Bigfoot, or we're talking about Dogman, or UFOs, is another topic. There's a little delay.
Yeah, I agree with that. I believe everything is tied in some way, somehow together. Like I was watching Helbit Haller's episode Dark Dive the other day, and there's UAP connections with these dogman sightings. And I mean, they could go in for a whole hour talking about it. So, I mean, there's got to be something to it. It's not just little gray men flying, across the universe to come be seen. There's got to be something with these UAPs.
Yeah, and I have a theory about the Bigfoot and the UFOs when they're seen together. I think they've been getting abducted. My theory is they've been getting abducted. They don't like these guys, these little gray aliens, because they're also getting abducted. I heard a gentleman told me a story once of an encounter that he had up there in Court. It was Sean, I believe it was with Sean Lake Reservoir, and I really think that it's the Bigfoot don't like them. They don't get along here, our area at least. And that the UFO. I mean, I don't want to. If you want, I can tell you that story, or I can explain the picture that you got going on here.
It's up to you, brother. Like I said, this is your guys' platform. I'm all open ears to hear anything that's cryptid, paranormal. It doesn't have to be strictly Dogman. Like I say, the West Coast Dogman is. I try to keep it strictly Dogman when it's stuff being posted. But on this live channel, I'm trying to open it up more to paranormal and other cryptids. Because I do have a fascination with them. But my main one is Dogman. But I'm all open ears to all this, like we all are. We're all trying to find answers to it. But if you want to talk about your UFO sighting or encounter, I'm okay with that. I'm just kind of zooming in. I saw some stuff earlier in this picture this morning when I was uploading everything, and don't know if it's pareidolia, but some faces or some things that just stood out in this one photo. But I can wait till after you talk about your UFO encounter, brother. Like I say, there's no rush.
Okay, so on this one here. This photo here, this location, like I said, it's near Fresno, close area. It's a eucalyptus island again. There's a lot of these eucalyptus islands all over the valley here, where we're at, and they seem to like the eucalyptus trees. But this area in particular, one of my friends out of in Clovis that's been doing cryptid and UFO paranormal research for a while now. He told me about this site, and I went with him. He invited me to go with him one day, and what happened is that they got a call. He got a call that this rancher near this this rancher near this area had sheep, and the rancher called them because his sheep were disappearing overnight, and they don't know how they were disappearing because they had it all fenced in. There's no sign of struggle or broken fence or chains or locks being broken, and the fence were like 7 feet tall, high, and they don't know how overnight these sheep get out or they've been taken. So they went out. So they called them. The farmer called my friend here, and they said that they went to the house. They researched the area. Then they drove a couple of miles. I think this was about a mile or a mile and a half away from the farmer's homestead, and they come to this eucalyptus island. So they see structures in here. So they then get down to explore this area. And again, this is alongside the road. So they go in here and they go explore, and then they end up towards the back of this island here. They find all the sheep that the gentleman was missing, and they're all been. I believe the heads were turned backwards. So they were busted. The heads were turned backwards, and the chests were ripped open.
Wow.
And so that's where they found them. So he took me out to this location. I go, okay. So we went out, and we were exploring the area, and he was telling me everything they had, and this is where it happened. And I was seeing structures. I told him, dude, there's structures in here, and yeah. So then I got a feeling that on the opposite side, like on the east side of that island, I needed to go that way. I kept getting this like feeling that I need to go that way, and I told him, I go, dude, I'm feeling that I need to go that way to the east side. There's something telling me to go that way. He goes, okay, well, let's go. So we walked through there, and at the other side, there's the end of the island, and there's that road, and across the road, there's a citrus orchard.
Right over here.
And that's another. The one in the picture there, that's another orchard, but this is across
the other side. Okay.
Yeah, it's on the other side of the road. There's another citrus orchard. So there's also a bridge. There's a tunnel that goes underneath the road, and on the other side, there's a reservoir for that citrus orchard. So we crossed the road, and we were looking in the reservoir trying to see if we can find any prints. So we're there looking around, from the road, alongside the road, looking down to the reservoir, trying to see if we can find prints. All of a sudden, I see what I thought was a coyote. Okay, and this is during the day. It comes out on the avenue along the orchard. It pops out from the orchard, and it's on the corner of the avenue. And it's this on all fours, real skinny, and it was like a reddish orange color. At first, I thought it was a coyote, but then I'm looking at it, and it's looking at us, and it's all skinny, and it's on all fours, and then it raises its head up in the air twice. And I go, what the? And I'm telling my friend, it's like, dude, are you seeing this? Are you seeing that? And where he was at, he couldn't see it, so he started walking towards me. I go, look. It's right there. It's looking at it. It raised its head twice up in the air. And then when it did that, it turned around, and I didn't see a tail. So I go, dude, that's not a coyote. And then it walked all funky away. It walked all on all fours, all funky, like multi-jointed.
Wow. Do you think that was a dogman? Because dogmen do walk kind of funky with their backs kind of arched, or do you think that could have been a possible skinwalker?
Dude,
I mean, this whole area just seems really eerie, man. Every time, just the Fresno area, east of Fresno, and just the whole area, it gives you. I'm not saying that just because I'm from Bakersfield, but I go research up in that area too, and just in the general area, it gives you a weird vibe.
Yeah, it's just, dude, I don't know what that was. It wasn't a coyote. It was on all fours. It was at least, now that I'm thinking about it, it was at least 4 feet tall on all fours.
Wow.
and it walked all funky. And I've heard that some dogman walk on multi-joint. They walk funky, right? But
Yes.
this thing was on all fours, and it was walking all weird and multi-jointed. And it went back into the orchard.
Mm-hmm.
My friend didn't see it, and I told him, and he goes, okay. And then all of a sudden, we started hearing movement in the orchard, we're both hearing it. And all of a sudden, I got sick. Shane, my stomach started hurting.
Mm-hmm.
I got a headache, and I started tasting metal in my mouth.
Like a metallic, like a blood taste almost to it, right?
Yep.
Wow. Do you believe that was infrasound? That it might have used infrasound to kind of make you feel? Because I've heard that. I was just talking to Ryan last night, and they do that. Orcas even do this.
No, yeah, I believe in the infrasound stuff there.
So you believe you got hit with it?
Right away I felt it. And my friend said he had a headache and his stomach hurt also. So then I started praying. I said a prayer, not out loud, but in my head.
Mm-hmm.
And it kind of relieved, okay? That sickness kind of went away. So then we started walking back, along that orchard, along the road though, just trailing the orchard there.
Mm-hmm.
And we kept hearing movement as we were going the same direction we were going. Kept hearing movement in the orchard, like it was tracking us.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got that pain again. I got it again, like it shot it again. Whatever it did, I got that stomach in my head, and I taste that metal again.
Mm-hmm.
And I told my friend, and he was feeling it too. It's like, dude, we got to get out of here because it's not good if we're getting shot like that. We're getting those feelings. So yeah, I got sick, so we ended up leaving. But I didn't even make a video that time. I couldn't make the video.
Phone was just acting up, right?
Yeah, and then everything else was going on, and then so we left. I went back there another time with I don't know. I can't remember if I took Jesus. I don't know if Jesus went with me or if it was somebody else. But I tried to make a video and I couldn't. I started getting sick again in that area.
Jesus, were you with Javi at this time?
No, that's actually a different area that I haven't been to, but I have been to another eucalyptus island. Yeah, I wasn't here.
Okay, so this photo, Javi, you took.
This photo was recent. This one was recent. This is when I took. I think Nestor was in the chat a while back.
Yeah, Nestor.
Actually, Nestor went with me to this area, and I was able to do a video, and we actually found a goat there, a dead goat.
I think you posted that video, didn't you? About a month or two ago.
And it was all intact. There was nothing wrong with it. I don't know. It was just weird because that's what that's how it happened. When we first went there, and they were telling me where they find the animals, and it was in that same location.
Yeah.
And this is just weird.
This photo just, like I said, there's people in the comments. Joe Mazzell says there's an area I keep zooming into that I see a face. I mean, it could be just pareidolia, my eyesight just throwing me off. But
I see it. I see where you're zooming in.
Yeah, you keep seeing. I keep zooming in right here. I keep looking at this, possibly being maybe a partially cloaked, I say dogman on everything, but with the eyes and the nose and the ear structure and here. That stood out to me. I mean, like I said, it's probably nothing. But then over here, I was looking at it this morning, and it was a pit bull looking head right in here. You see the eyes and the nose, and it looks like a pit bull head. I'm like, man,
I got to take you out to that area.
Yeah, man. I mean, one day, like I say, I won't go post it on my page. Hey, it's this area. Like you say, hey, keep this under wraps. I'm totally all about privacy on this. So. But yeah, let's go on to the next photo and see. I mean, you got some really good ones. What's up with this? Is this an old water tower? Or I mean, I've seen these over out here in Bakersfield. They used to fill these full of water. So something similar.
I don't see it. Jesus, do you see it?
Oh my God!
This is behind. This is behind that ridge where Javier had his dogman encounter. Earlier, I mentioned the smelter. So these are some of the remnants of when they were building Pine Flat Dam. So again, we don't we know there's caves where Javier witnessed this cryptid, so we don't know if they're hiding in here, if there's other tunnels, caves where these creatures have access to inside this mountain. So this is one of those structures that we're seeing here.
Oh, okay. Javi, did you want to add anything to this? Can you see the photo now?
Yeah, that's that. Yeah, behind that area.
Uh-huh.
I can't see the picture, but I know what you're talking about.
Okay.
Yeah, that's they told us that's the remnants from back when they were logging back in the days in that area.
Mm.
That was like a shoe or smelter, like Stu said.
Mm-hmm.
We've been wanting to go in there, Shane, but people there have told us to not go in there because the owners on horseback and they carry rifles. They don't want nobody in there.
Yeah, it's like an old Wild West up there.
Exactly. I don't know if Jesus told you about that area, but we tried to get information about that area. There's a library actually down the street from that bridge, and we went in there one time and we asked the librarian if we can get some books about the history about this area,
Mm-hmm.
and she said no, there's nothing. I've been trying to get books up here to the library, but they won't send them. They said they have to stay in Fresno.
Wow.
If you want to read anything about this area, you got to go to Fresno.
Interesting.
You can't check them out.
They're trying to keep it under wraps, probably, is what I'm getting.
Trying to keep something under wraps in that area.
Yeah, Nestor just commented on the previous photo. He said that's right. I was there with Javier that day. Recently passed by the same area. So talking about the one with the eucalyptus, where like I said, I was looking at it earlier and I found a few faces, or might be just pareidolia, but Now with this next photo, I couldn't tell exactly. Was this more canine looking print? Javi, if you can describe this one, I mean, until it buffers on and loads on Javier's.
Yeah, it's behind a little bit. So
Okay. Hey, sis, do you want to comment on this one?
If you zoom out a little bit,
Uh-huh.
I think on one of our investigations, we came across this one, and I'm trying to point with my mouse as well. But right there, where you have your pointer, you can see there's like toe prints, and then a little more back down.
Oh yeah. There you go.
If you keep going down, you can see the heel.
Oh, right here.
Yes.
Oh, I see it now. Okay. Yeah, I see it. With the impression right in here, you can see where it's real faint, but you can see it, the heel, how it curves.
Correct.
Wow. I'm thinking that looks more Bigfoot. The 5 toes right here, the 1, the 2, 3, 4, and possibly a 5, and then that's what I'm seeing though. What's your guys' thought? You think is that more Sasquatch or Dogman?
That was a year later. Is that the black and white photo?
Yeah, with your foot right next to it, or someone's foot right next to it.
That was at the same turnout a year later, and I think it's still the canine. I think it's canine. It's just a little different. It could be a different one. I mean, I don't know. It could be a skinwalker. I don't know.
I mean, I see the points to it. I bet it's like maybe my eyesight at first, I was just looking at a little bit more, but trying to see exactly what you see, like with it being canine. But I definitely see the heel impression and what possibly claw marks up at the top.
Yeah, I can see the claw marks.
Yeah. Now, what would you say the size of that print was? Did you guys use like a measuring tape or?
No, we didn't, because we see when we're out there, we see what looks like a print, and we take pictures. We just take pictures, but we won't reveal them until we get home, and that's when you can actually see them.
Yeah, I know there's some of these other photos.
Phone, or you know what I mean?
Yeah, you've got a lot of awesome photos in here. That it looks like that you guys took a bunch and then went and reviewed, and then like a week or two later, like, oh, this thing's popping out. Like, look at this,
Yeah, you just mess with the filter. Change the filter, and sometimes it'll pop even better.
Do you believe that if you the human eye can only pick up certain light spectrums, or do you believe that if you take a picture of something and you alter the filter, the lights on the film, that you could probably pull something out of cloaking, or hiding in another dimension?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, that's what I personally believe too. I know it's kind of a touchy subject because people say, "Oh, it's just a fuzzy pixelated photo," but
Cameras pick up another. I don't know, another. What do you call it? Another filter. They have another filter that we can't see.
exactly a different light spectrum almost, right? Like just like our hearing, we can only hear certain things. But I was talking to Lieutenant with Darkwood's Cryptid project, and he was telling me, he enhanced one of my videos, and he's saying that your ears only pick up what's around you. Like if you're out in the dead brush and you're crunching in, you're not going to hear a dog or a Sasquatch doing a whoop or a tree knock or something. You're just not.
And that's another. I know the paranormal, like the ghost group, the ghost hunters.
Mm-hmm.
They use cameras a lot because they pick up images that they can't see.
Exactly.
And they also in our videos we pick up EVPs also.
EVPs. That's what
EVP.
Jesus was asking about earlier. It was EVPs. There we go. I was like, I think we said IVP or something, but
It's something like that, yeah.
EVP. There we go.
Yeah, electronic voice phenomenon. But yeah, EVPs in our videos,
Mm-hmm.
and in one of our videos, you clearly hear them. It's not us talking; it's somebody else.
Exactly.
They're saying a sentence or something. In Pictograph Mountain, we have 3 EVPs that we captured. One sounds Native American and Native American language. It sounds like, I don't know what it's saying, but you can clearly hear it. Another one is more like a cowboy saying something like "hurry" or something like "hurry, you're coming" or something like that.
So you guys are probably picking up the undead, probably talking in that whole area. When my wife and my son and we drove up there, it was very ranchy, like Western. There's a lot of horse property and cattle ranches up in that area. So maybe we're picking up something from 200 years ago.
Yep.
Now the photo I have on screen, Javi, did you? I mean, I know it's going to be buffering for a minute, but Jesus, this is the one with the citrus field. Like you guys are looking into the citrus field. Is there anything regarding this photo that you guys can explain?
This photo to me is brand new. I haven't seen this one before. So this
okay.
was probably the day him and Esther went out investigating.
That's probably just a citrus tree.
Yeah, it's got a telephone pole in the front of it.
Yeah, I'm just showing you the citrus tree.
Oh, okay. And now this is Javi. You're obviously marching in on this photo, but you were telling me before Javi got on. Was this where you guys were going into the thick brush of the eucalyptus, and you were telling me you just got the
No, this is another photo that I'm not that I wasn't there for.
Oh, okay.
Is this the citrus one still?
No, this one's the eucalyptus where you got your phone holding in front of you, and it looks like you're recording, but someone took a picture of a back shot of you with the eucalyptus in it. I'll wait till you describe each photo before I start moving on. Javi, my bad. I should have said, hey, move on to the next one. Oh, God.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for it to come up.
Okay, I'll leave it to this photo for right now. Before while it loads. Oh, we got Tombstone in the chat.
Okay, I see it now. I see it. Okay, I see my shadow is in there, or is that? Yeah, it's my shadow. Oh no, that's Jesus was behind me. That's in the trees. Jesus, that's the area.
Do you remember this photo, Jesus?
No, I don't.
That's where that's where we captured those two in. That's off of Frankfurt Avenue.
Okay. Is this over here by that abandoned house where I stayed behind?
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Okay. All right. Okay. So I was thinking this was probably a little more recent. Okay. Yeah, I know where we're at now.
Yeah. So you want to talk about that one, Jesus? Go for it.
Well, earlier I was talking to the group here that on this particular day I really didn't feel, I wasn't digging it. Like I knew there was something here, and now that we have the picture, I can describe it to you guys. So if you guys notice, I'm not necessarily very far away from Javier, but I usually don't keep a distance between him for safety reasons, of course. I mean, we like to stay together. I mean, but
Yeah,
this
wait.
day, for some reason, inside, if you guys can see inside of those eucalyptus trees, there was just an eerie feeling. I'm like, you know what? I'm not digging it. Um, if you're not feeling anything, you go on. Um, Javier said, "Hey, just okay, that's fine. Stay behind. Just make sure you snap pictures." And I was, I would, for whatever reason, I was just not digging it.
Yeah, so
So
this area, dude,
I, I don't know. Is there more photos?
Yeah. Do you guys want me to move on?
Yeah.
Hoppy, do you want
Next
to
photo.
fill in anything more on it, or
no, yeah, I was just go ahead and you can switch to the next photo.
okay?
Yeah, this
Yes.
area I was hearing for a while.
Hmm.
I passed by it almost every day, and I would notice structures from the road. And I noticed that this area the house was abandoned, the whole ranch was abandoned, and I saw the gate was open. So I told Jesus, "Hey, dude, we need to go in here because there's structures in here, and they're changing every day." And so we did. We went one afternoon after lunch, and we just went in there real quick. And sure enough, this area is abandoned. We went to the back of the property where the eucalyptus trees are, and right away when we went in, we got that feeling like there's something's here. Something's definitely here, and we saw structures. The video, we made that video. It's called "In the Trees." You can go to our YouTube channel and watch that video. But and Jesus, like he said, he was having that bad feeling, like something was there, and he kind of stood behind a little bit. I just felt, while I was recording, and I kept going, because I knew it was there. I could feel him there. I could hear him. I could smell him. Yeah, so that place was crazy.
Yeah, I just switched to the next photo where you're hiking into the eucalyptus and you got the two objects or the two beings in the trees and they're looking down on you. And this photo, obviously, it looks like you had to brighten it up because I saw the original and it's like you really could barely make it out in the original. But as soon as you put, a couple filters on it and lighten it up, you clearly see, in my opinion, it looks very canine.
Okay, the one in the trees, correct? Up in the trees?
Yeah, the one to the left. I mean, you see the two eyes and the possible snout with the ears. I mean, what are your thoughts on that? You think that was more dogman or possible Sasquatch?
Okay, so that one in the trees, to me, it does look canine-ish.
Mm-hmm.
The one on the bottom to the right, I don't know what that is.
It stands out, though. I mean,
told me that's a Sasquatch. I've never seen a Sasquatch, so I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
People have told me it looks like a Sasquatch. To me, it reminds me of the Sand People from Star Wars. I don't know.
Yeah, it does look something like that. I mean, you see the possible eyes, but I mean, doesn't have a canine snout to it. I mean, if anything,
No, it doesn't. So it's and then they're elementals. People tell me they're elementals.
Mm-hmm.
So some sort of elemental. But when I was there, Shane, I could hear him. Jesus stayed back.
Uh-huh.
He wanted to stay back, and that's fine. And I told him I was going to go ahead and go, and because I could hear him moving around. I heard when I got close to that area, I heard something running away, like something heavy ran away. I didn't see it, but I can hear it. When I'm going down in where those two creatures are, I went down in the video. You can see it. I'm going down, and I'm recording, and you see like when a dog pees and it makes the air, that you can see the pee where you can see it's been somebody peed there.
Yeah, leave like a stench.
You see it, dude, but this is like black.
Oh wow!
And you can smell it smells. And when I was going down there, I could feel him. I can feel him. Like I said, I could hear him moving around. I just couldn't see him. I could not see him, and I was trying my hardest to see him, and I could not see him. And you can see how close they were to me.
Yeah. Do you think they were just more cloaked, and that's what they were doing? Do you believe in cloaking abilities?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I believe in that.
Yeah, that's what I agree with on a lot of aspects. I mean, obviously, let me see if I can pull up the other photo right here. I mean, you can see the darkness in the photos on this one. I mean, I'll give it a minute for you to load on your side, Javi. But you're walking in, like you said, Jesus is right behind you taking pictures. You're not going to see this.
Yeah. Yeah, I told him, dude, I'm hearing them. With sign language, I was telling him, dude, I'm hearing them. Just start taking pictures. Just take pictures.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and luckily he got it there, man. He got those two in the pictures.
Yeah. Now, can you see them on your side now?
Yeah, I can see it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, it's just night and day with the difference in them. I mean, they obviously pulled them out of the different light spectrum realm.
Yeah.
Just pull them right out of their
There's
interdimension.
There's some other black spot down below. I just can't tell what that is.
To your left, huh? I was looking at that earlier. I mean, in this photo, I mean, I know everyone at home probably thinks it's pixelated. I mean, you could probably make out something here, possibly. But like you said, it's hard to see. Even when you brighten it up, obviously there's a dark spot. Yeah. Maybe I see a possible eye shine and a snout. I mean, I'm always looking for that wolf-looking head when I'm out looking and researching, But there could be something there. I do believe dogmen do travel in packs. I don't believe they do. There's the possibility of the one being rogue and getting kicked out, where just like a lion pack, it's or a pride, not a pack. My bad. Like a pride, maybe they get kicked out and then they become a loner for the rest of their life. But yeah, these photos, man, you got great content on here, brother. Let's see if I can get to the next one. These are I'm on the eucalyptus trees now. I'll let it load, and you can describe Jesus or Javi if you want to describe.
And as the photo loads on his end, I want to ask Javier, like, what was the smell? Can you describe the smell? I know earlier there was a viewer who asked that question.
Yeah, the smell was like dirty urine smell, dude. It was like a dirty urine smell.
Interesting.
Dirty urine. Okay.
I don't know if that makes sense, but like a dirty dog.
Yeah, no, that's the one scent that when you're around dogman, it either smells like dirty garbage, dead meat, wet dog smell, or just straight sewage or death. I mean, that's the thing with these things. There's nothing pleasant about them, and all the research I've read on, and you guys have been doing this a lot longer, so that's why I pick your guys' brains. I'm not no expert. Yeah. I'm a sponge, so when you guys say it smelled like urine,
you're right. I mean, you're getting all this information, and that's the type of smells.
Yeah, I mean, compared to where I hear that the Bigfoot have more of a musky smell to them, compared to the dead, rotten flesh smell of the dogman, man. So, but yeah, is this photo loaded up on your end, Javi?
I'm still looking at the two.
Oh, you are okay.
Okay, so this looks familiar to me, Javier. Is this the one where that gentleman approached us?
Yes, probably.
Okay, perfect. So I'm gonna talk. I'll talk a little bit about this one. So this was another eucalyptus island on the side of the road, where Javier had noticed that there was a lot of movement, a lot of changes, just a strange feel. So he had gone with his cousin once, and I believe he was able to make a video, but to him it just didn't seem right. So he invited me, and I went over and we checked out this area. And again, he's showing me what's out of place, if I'm feeling anything. I sometimes I'm just looking for it. Sometimes you just don't get that feeling, but you're looking for those clues, the prints, the those blinds, or just things that don't look normal. And again, we're trying to make sure that it's not like a homeless person. So this day, I think we probably have been here maybe 20 minutes looking at this particular area. It's a very narrow road, and it's it is there's just enough room for a person to walk, right? Because it falls a little, maybe a 10-foot drop. So as we're looking up in the trees, looking for anything, a black truck drives by, and the gentleman acknowledges that we're there. He he kind of had to take a second take. Like he drove a little and then stopped and reversed. And he asked us in Spanish, "Hey, what are you guys doing?" And they're like, "Oh, we're just um, looking,
Taking pictures of
looking at the eucalyptus." And he mentions, "Oh, so you're looking for the strange dog?" I'm like, "What?" We did not
What?
mention anything, but this gentleman, I guess he works around these fields, and he says, "Yeah, you're looking for the strange dog, right?" And I'm like, "Oh yeah, yeah." And he says, "Are you guys
Wow.
also looking for the strange bird?" I'm like, what? Like these are two things that we didn't mention. We didn't exactly say what we were doing there, and this random person all of a sudden just tells us exactly what we're looking for. I'm pretty sure he didn't know who we were.
Mhm.
We didn't mention it. We didn't allude to it, but he knew what we were looking for. And it was very interesting, to say the least, that other people have witnessed these strange creatures. And I mean, I don't know if it's just feel of being ridiculed or uh, being called crazy, but these things are out there, and people have been privileged to have the ability to witness them. And yeah, that this photo right here is very interesting. Again, it's just the general area of where we were um, just researching, and we got approached by that guy, and we were told exactly what it is that we were looking for, without giving any information to the person.
yeah,
Interesting.
yeah. In the comments, see now that thing is sitting on the lower cloud head. Yeah, it's down on the left hand corner there in that picture. You can see it.
See, like a face right here. It doesn't even look canine or anything. It look almost like a primate looking type face. I mean, that's what my eyes are picking up with the snout right in this area with the two eyes and maybe like a top of an upper lip, like a primitive, like a primate. I mean, I don't know. Is that possibly a Sasquatch or Dogman or?
Well, people tell me, it's Dogman. It could be Sasquatch. I don't know. To me, it looks more canine-ish, kind of.
Right in here, yeah. Over here, this looks like it stood out to me, almost like a. I mean, I can see a nose right here, and it looks like it's smiling right here. I don't know.
It's like, on this particular day, me and my cousin actually went out here,
Uh-huh.
and when my cousin took these photos, and I told him as soon as we got off the vehicle, you can smell rotting meat. It was foul. It was like it hit you right away. It's like, dude. And we saw the structures in here, and I told him, dude, there's something here. Just take pictures, dude. Just start taking random pictures, especially where it's like the dark areas.
Yeah.
Just take pictures. So he did, and he got it in. He got the image. We knew it was there. Knew something was there. You just smell that foul odor, like something was dead.
So right there, that's your key. Like you said, like rotten meat. That it sounds very
that
dog
particular
man.
time, that smell was like rotten meat.
Wow. I mean, these things know how to. Now, do you believe in the theory that these things can distort imagery with the light with their fur, like Sasquatch? I've heard that theory multiple times. Do you believe that they can manipulate the light to why you get these blob squatches or, the blog man, what other people claim that they are? I mean, I believe.
Yeah, that's a possibility, Shane. I'm not an expert, so I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a possibility.
Mm-hmm.
But we try very hard to look in there. All I can see is darkness.
Exactly.
I can't see faces. I don't see the image. I don't see the faces or anything. And they won't move.
Mm-hmm.
They're still when you're out there.
They don't even move a muscle, huh? You don't even see any ear twitch or anything, huh?
Yeah, exactly. And maybe you'll hear like a snap here and there, but you still can't see them. You're looking towards the direction of the snap that you hear. You still don't see nothing.
Yeah, that's what blows my mind is you hear the snaps, but these things are hide and seek champs.
It's like in another. I don't know if you watch Stranger Things.
Oh yeah, I definitely watch that.
So I think it's like a parallel, or something like it's real thin, and you can. I don't know. It's something similar to that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like being in the upside down, where like they communicate with the lights and they can see it on the other side, but they're not there, but they know that they're. So you like when you're out there researching, you hear the snaps, but maybe they are in either in another dimension in that time, or interdimensional, or just cloaked. Really, I mean,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
just
exactly.
definitely gets. I mean, like we say, we're not experts in any of this. We all have answers and questions, and it's just we're all in this together to try to prove the existence of these things. And I think you've got incredible stuff here, brother. This is the photo that really stood out to me when I first saw it. All at a buffer. Jesus, if you want to give
personally myself, I never say I'm a professional. I'm not an expert in this. I'm not. I'm learning. I'm not an expert in this. I'm going as as we go and investigate and just trying to solve the answer, but it's just crazy.
Yeah, no, I agree. That's the thing, brother. Carlito said he's going to bed. Good night, brother.
Good
Deb
night.
said the pterodactyl was seen up in Northern California too. So I definitely, that's what just gets me, the pterodactyl. I believe you guys actually really saw what you saw. I'm not saying, oh, it was this, but it was obviously, what was the wingspan on that bird that when it took off? Did you guys see it take off in flight or?
Yeah, actually, we both saw it take off in flight. It's just nice. It rose its wings really slow, to take off. It was really slow, but this thing was huge. And we were thinking, I went back and we measured the bridge, the fence there on the bridge that has the sections. Jesus, remember it covering two sections. I think that's what Jesus said.
Yeah.
You remember it covering in two sections, correct?
Correct.
On each the wing. So we measured, and each section is 6 feet wide.
Wow.
So it covered two on one side. This was right.
Yes.
One of the wings covered two sections, so that's 12 feet right there. So if you're going to wingspan, that's what, 24 feet wide?
No, I think it was 12 feet total. The sections were 6 feet, so I think it was 12 feet wide.
The sections. Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, there's you.
No, I can still hear you. I just didn't want to talk over you.
Oh, no. How many sections did it cover?
It covered two sections. If I remember correctly, I think it was two sections, and each section was 6 feet. So it was a total width of 12 feet.
Okay, 12 feet. Okay. 12 feet.
Yeah.
Interesting.
12 feet wide.
And now, have you guys went back and to historic records or skeletal fossils and compared with the pterodactyls from then? Is it about the same size?
We haven't. At least personally I haven't.
Oh, okay. What about you, Javi? Have you done it?
I have not.
Oh, okay. No, I like I say, I believe you guys did see a pterodactyl. I mean, something with a 12-foot wingspan isn't normal, especially with even a swan or a crane. I mean, they've got a decent wingspan, but nothing 12 feet altogether,
Right, and then the beak was about 2 feet long.
Oh, dang. That's not normal even a pelican doesn't even have a beak that long, I don't believe, right?
That's what I was thinking it was, a pelican, but no, it was no way. I went back there and there's cranes in that area.
Mm-hmm.
These things are dwarfed compared to that thing that we saw.
Wow.
And they were in that area too when we went back to, we made a video on it, and you see the cranes in the video, they're not even close to the size.
Well, to confirm with you guys, we have a guest in the chat that said her name is Laura Tarnowski, and she said she's seen one in Fresno as well. So right there, you guys aren't the only ones that have been seeing them. And then Deb said that there was one up in Northern California. So
yeah, actually there was a couple of years ago there was 4 sightings down the Kings River.
Oh, do you think it's the same one, or do you believe that there's a family of them, or do you believe that there's a pack of them?
There's multiple ones.
Multiple, okay.
And they usually come out right now in the summer.
So you believe it's like a seasonal thing, like with cryptid activity? I've heard that dogmen, for example, are the most sightings happen around spring and fall. But so you believe like the pterodactyls are mainly just seen during summertime?
Yeah,
Sorry.
From what I'm hearing, like every time people see them, they're usually between May and September, in between the summertime.
Interesting. Jesus, you got any thoughts on that? Or
No, not necessarily, but going back to the sightings, I do believe that the people have seen the same thing we have. Um, and I'm just hoping that we get a clear picture so that we could put out there, and hopefully the other people that have seen the same type of bird can also acknowledge, or we could at least say, okay, it might be a different species of bird, or it probably is a possible pterodactyl.
might have survived, do you believe that it's interdimensional, Javi? Do you think that or do you believe that there was maybe a race of these pterodactyls that did probably survive, the initial shock from the meteor hit? And do you believe?
Let me tell you that back in the 1800s, there's a book, and it talks about pterodactyls in Selma, California,
Mm-hmm.
which is near Fresno, California. And back in the 1800s, there's an article in the newspaper from the LA. It wasn't LA Times back then, but it was in Los Angeles, and they were asking for people to go on this expedition to go hunt these pterodactyls in Selma, California.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
Selma's like 15 minutes away from Lee. So.
Oh, okay. So it's all in the general area.
So back then they were seeing these pterodactyls back then in the 1800s.
Now, have you checked into? Is there any like native lore to it? Like, do they describe it, or is it more like a thunderbird to them?
Yeah. So speaking of that, the Cryptid Mountain. In the video, you'll see it, but on that mountain, there's a huge painting of what they call a thunderbird.
Mm-hmm.
But a thunderbird, has feathers. But I don't know if they were talking about that type of bird. There's a big drawing of a bird on the side of a rock,
mm-hmm.
and I don't know if they're talking about the thunderbird or they're talking about the pterodactyl.
Interesting. And that's up in Selma, right?
The
drawing or the painting?
The painting, no, it's about 5 miles away from Avocado Lake.
Oh, interesting. So there's got to be something to it all, man. I mean, some people might think it's a thunderbird, some think it's a pterodactyl. There's obviously a winged creature up there, and especially people in the comment have even said it, from Dev to Laura, your guys' sighting. So.
Yeah, and actually, me and Jesus were a couple of weeks ago. We went back, and we actually heard that same sound when we saw the pterodactyl from the river, but I had forgot to take my spotlight. We didn't have a big enough light that time, but we heard the sound, the exact sound when we saw the pterodactyl. But like I said, we didn't have a flashlight back when it went, we couldn't see it.
Now, are you guys only getting the activity at like when it's pitch black at night, or do you guys get anything during the day, or was it?
Sometimes it's both.
Oh, really?
Sometimes
It's just a matter of when you catch it, right?
Right.
Interesting.
And then we go. It's not every time. Every time we go out there, we don't get stuff. We don't get that feeling.
Mm-hmm.
It's not all the time. We don't. Sometimes we sometimes it's just as soon as it's like boom.
It's kind of just hit or miss, right?
Yep.
Interesting. Well, all right, brother. Back to your photos. I wanted to get you to be able to describe all of them. This one, is probably one of your best ones, I think, other than Dogman up in the tree line. And that's just one of my personal favorites. Is this one? I mean, what do you see? Do you see it on screen? I mean, what do you think it is? I mean, if you ask my opinion, I think it's clearly a Dogman.
Okay, so this is the one. Is this the one facing?
Yes, it's got property of Cryptid 559, April 2019 to the right-hand side of it.
Yeah, that's the same picture, Shane, from that eucalyptus.
Is it really? Let me see.
Yes, sir. It's just zoomed in a little bit. It's a different photo actually.
It's a different photo.
My cousin took consecutive pictures, and it changes in those pictures. It changes.
Wow, I did not know that was the same one.
Yeah, it's the same one, but it's not the same photo, but it's the same place.
Same place, yeah. Do you think it was just
consecutive photos? It's
observing you then, is what it looks like.
It was staring right at us.
Yeah, I mean, you clearly see the snout, the bridge of I guess you could say the snout right here. The eyes shine. I don't know. I mean, I think that's clearly a dogman to me. I mean, if I had to put $30 on it and pull this guy out of the shadow realm, I would.
This guy's probably saying, "Not this guy again."
This guy really.
He won't leave me alone.
You're right. He keeps coming back.
It's like, dude, how's he finding me?
Right.
Like I was telling Jesus, for some reason we're just drawn to these areas, you know. Like I can kind of spot the areas. It is crazy.
Now, do you think that that's probably with your experience with cryptids, or do you just believe that you just get that feeling, like your sixth sense telling you there's something here, or what?
When I go out, I just observe everything, and I see what to me are structures, and then we go. I don't go by myself. I never go by myself. I either have Jesus or my cousin with me, or Nestor, but we'll go as a group. We'll go out there and we'll explore these areas, and sure enough, we'll start capturing these stuff. But that's how I find these areas. I see structures.
So that's how you determine where you're going to go, is by the structures, right?
Right, and a lot of these areas are along roads.
Oh, just
along busy roads, man.
Do you believe they just sit on the tree line and just observe the cars go by, or when they see people, the activity is more like heightened, I guess you could say?
Yep. I think they're just observing, watching.
Yeah,
I really do.
Jesus, what's your thoughts on that? No, you're
I was muted. I'm sorry. My thing is that I think we get more activity when the river has water, and again, I mean, this is just me, my opinion. I think that the water and this energy go hand in hand, and it just gets amplified, and we get more cryptid activity when during the summer, when there's more people in the water. Their curiosity gets the best of them, and they're just watching us. I mean, I haven't heard of any incidents here locally where one of these creatures attacks a person. But I mean, I'm sure if there was, now with social media and all this good stuff, we would hear about it right away.
Yeah, no, I agree. We have a comment, casual conversation with G&A said these pictures are scary. So, I mean, other people are seeing these things other than just us three in the photo. I mean, Jesus, do you think it's a dog man, or do you think that this...
That to me does look like a dog. Yes. And I would be comfortable calling it a dog man. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like I say, 100% we don't know what it could be, but I mean, it looks from the features it has. This, to me personally, is my favorite photo from you guys over at Cryptid 559. I was like, man, that's definitely a cover photo. Or, I mean, well, you really show me a better dogman photo. I mean, I've seen really good ones that Paul Chafin's shared, and that's what made me become a believer in seeing your guys' evidence. I've shared your stuff on my page. I've asked Javi if I could, and it's just some of the best I've seen. And my buddy David from Texas, he shares really incredible stuff. Brother Abe from down in Texas, he shares really good stuff too. You know, we're all in this to prove the existence of these creatures, not just Sasquatch, but this photo just stands out to me. But let's see.
Yeah, so that's, I mean, like I said, they're in the eucalyptus in our area. Love the eucalyptus trees.
Yeah. Seeing it. Sino said, see the comment will load up. Sorry, guys, my computer's lagging. All right. It said, I think they don't feel threatened, so they watch. That I think they do too.
Yeah.
All right, so this other photo is eucalyptus. You got a red circle around it. I'll let it load up on your end, brother, and see. Unless Jesus, you want to jump in on this, and you can tell us what you see on this. I mean, I see the dark shadows in it. Oh no, I think that is the same photo from earlier,
Yeah,
wasn't it?
I think it is the same photo. I think there's just an emphasis on focusing on that shadow. And again, there is something there, but I mean, I personally I can't make out what it is, but it's definitely interesting.
Yeah, it definitely got some other shadows over to the left of it too. Trying to see if you can make out an eye or snout.
Yeah, I'm trying to see the picture.
Yeah, my bad. I'll leave it right here. It was the same one of that black shadow where
Yeah.
someone in the comments said they looked like they had claws or hands. I mean,
Oh, is it in the? Is that the one at Pine Flat, Jesus?
No, it's still the same photo from before. Is
Oh,
the only
okay.
thing different is that it's circled with a red indicator.
yeah.
Oh. I can't. I'm still seeing the same one.
Do you want me to? I'll give it a few minutes, but like I said, I'll let it load on your end so you can describe it and see if it is the same photo. I mean, I think it is. I mean, with AC's just clarifying it, it looks like it is with the down branch. Or not even a branch, that's a log. I mean, just looking at it, I mean, possibly some eyes in here. I mean, I don't know. That's things I love about looking at other people's research is, you pick up something that they might see, or you might see two different things,
Yeah.
Okay, I see the one.
You see it now?
It's just a zoomed out one. Yeah.
If you look at it, it looks more like maybe a head maybe in here. I don't know. I'm starting to.
And like I tell you, he took consecutive photos, and they all change within. It changes within that photo.
In every frame, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely stands out. Like maybe
there's probably more than one in there.
I wouldn't doubt it, brother. Maybe one or two, maybe even three or four.
Yeah. Yep.
I'm gonna head on to the next photo and see what we got.
Go ahead. Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, this is the one we haven't seen. Jesus, did you take this photo? Or because Hobbies, this isn't the same one. It looks like it's in the same area, but maybe it is from the same trip.
Yes, I believe this is that same area. This is a little bit before he went into that location where he was hearing the things, and he wasn't quite sure what it was. But it's that same general area, and as you can see, it's very thick. And behind these eucalyptus trees, there's a little dry creek.
Oh, so it's a dry creek behind here. It's not the Kings River, right?
No, not in here. No.
Okay. Hobby, let me know when it loads up on your end, brother, and we'll zoom in on certain areas of interest that you might have this. I'm just going to zoom in on the dark areas and see if I see anything.
Okay. Yeah, I'm still seeing the same.
Same one. So as it loads, I'm going to talk a little bit about this area again. Even though this photo was taken on a particular day, we did go back at another time, and the second time that we went, or the third, we noticed that there was a really big hole dug in between the main driveway. I'm going to call it the main driveway, and this little dry creek. I mean, there was no evidence of heavy machinery. There was no footprints. There was really nothing, but there was this massive hole. And I mean, why would they dig it? It's an abandoned property. There's really nothing. I mean, I don't see the purpose of it. One might ask, well, were they trying to dig a well? It was a massive hole. There's no way. And the general location of that hole is this little green patch towards the middle. I don't know. it's a little. Okay, so I see your pointer, right there in this little area right here. What is that little hole green? This little green patch? That's where the hole is, or was, because I don't think we've been there in the little while. So it'd be interesting to see if the hole got filled in, or if the hole got expanded more. It'll be hard to say, but there's no purpose for that hole being there.
Yeah, there's got to be something to it. I mean, it's this whole area just seems interesting to go check out.
Yeah. And it's an abandoned property, and it's huge. I mean, it makes no sense as to why the people would leave it. It's a decent sized home. It's out in the country. It has
Mhm.
it has it has kind of a shaded area for like alfalfa, and then it has like a small barn, and plus all this property that you see there. So it just makes no sense as to why somebody would just get up and move, unless there's some paranormal activity going on, which spooked them and caused them to say, "Well, you know what? We've been getting a lot of this, oh, and it's getting to a point where it's not no longer safe, and we're out."
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't know because there's other houses on the other side of this area, and there's eucalyptus trees, and they're close to the house, and there's construction right behind the house. So if this family is experiencing like paranormal activity at night, like you either hear knocking or hearing stuff outside the house. Uh, yeah, so I would be. I can see why they would leave. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I totally understand, you guys. I mean, this is perfect area to go research. And this next photo is the same one that you outlined in green of the dog man that we all agreed on with the snout and the eye. I mean, it's perfectly traced. I mean, you can see it. I mean, I know it's gonna probably lag on. This is the photo I wanted to share with everyone. Hey, Javi, I'll let it load on your end, brother, and I'll let you describe this, and then we'll go through the different ones. Because I know we're coming up to the 3 hour mark, and you know we can hop off around then right there. But I wanted to get to your photos and just yeah. So this one you're wearing your NASA T-shirt, and it's actually photo what looks like a Sasquatch probably hiding behind the tree.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'll let you describe the photo though. I'll wait till it loads on yours, and we'll talk about that. Well, while it's loading, brother, I just want to say thank you guys for, everyone in the comments for coming, and for Javi and Jesus with Cryptid 559 taking time out of your guys' day to do this. This is something I've been wanting to do since I started interviews, was to interview you guys, and here we are 7 months later, and it's finally happening, and it's been a true honor.
No, thank you.
I wish I could have put on here on the computer and not have all these pictures.
Yeah, no, it's not your fault, brother. You're good, man. I mean, we can always do a part 2 down the road, and maybe what we could do is when we all go out in the field and go, investigate, maybe we can do a part 2, and we can all do our, an interview, sharing our research together. I think that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, whenever you want to come up this way,
okay,
let me know.
Yeah, my son's actually starting football. I mean, he's been in football, but they're starting, with the pads and stuff next week, and with games and stuff. So I might be a little limited from August to October. So maybe if we do maybe on a Sunday, or like you said, the weekend, it's kind of hard with everyone going up there. But we'll definitely plan it out in the near future for sure.
Yeah, I've got people, like I told you, I sent you names of certain areas.
Yeah. Yeah, we can definitely check out that one that out here. In the, I think is it closer to you or is it closer to me? I mean,
I think it's in the middle.
In the middle, okay, that's what I was thinking too. I was like, I didn't really look into it, but I was like, hey, whenever we do, like I say, I'm not going up there without you guys.
Yeah, that one. I talked to you about Apple Valley. I didn't say Apple Valley, but I'm not going to say that. But somebody had reached out to me when I first started the channel. And they sent me a bunch of photos, dude, of stuff that's in that area. It's crazy. Maybe I'll share them with you so you can check them out. Yeah,
that would be awesome, because I know the wife and I were just out in the Devil's Punch Bowl 2 weeks ago where we got fried, Didn't bring sunscreen to protect us, but hiking out in the desert. But yeah, I'm just zooming in on this being, people in the chats, if you guys can see it.
Okay, I see the photo.
You see it now?
That was when we first started. We went up to Pine Flat Dam. I think it was me, Jesus, and my cousin
Mm-hmm.
who were up there, and we found the structures. And to me, that was like one structure that I think they were starting to build like a teepee structure,
Mm-hmm.
like a blind. And so we took a picture. I took a picture of it with me in it. But when COVID hit and we were home, I was reviewing our old photos, and that's when I noticed it in the background.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't remember anything having two tree trunks, like one next to another.
Yeah, I mean, you can clearly see the outline of it. It might not load on your screen just in time, brother, but I'm going to zoom into the next one where it's filtered and you can really see it. Let's see. Not that one. Let's go with this one. Here you go. With a black and white filter on it.
Oh yeah, so it's a closer. Yeah, you can clearly see that it's looking at us between the tree limbs, and then you can see the arm. I see the arm.
Yep.
I see the side of it. I see the leg. I think it's a juvenile, honestly.
Yeah, because I'm looking at the size comparison for where your head is to where it's at. I mean,
yeah, I think it's a juvenile. Juvenile being around 6 feet tall, but
yeah. I mean, obviously he's off in the far back. I mean, once the photo loads up, well, you can probably describe it a little better. I'll leave it zoomed out to where you can see because if you don't mind me asking, Javi, you're about what, 5'10", 5'11"?
I'm 5'9".
5'9". Okay, so you're 5'9". I mean, just looking at this, from where your hat's at to where the top of this thing's head is, yeah. I mean, it looks about like it could be 6 foot.
Yeah, 6 foot.
Yeah.
And we were the only ones out there. I mean, there was nobody else out there. We would have seen it if it was a person.
Yeah, he would have stood out, but just going through the photos, it's just he's hiding behind. It's like this guy loses at hide and go seek. He can get completely behind the tree.
That's why I say cameras pick them up.
Yeah.
Because our eyes aren't picking them up.
Uh-huh.
He was, my cousin was taking a picture of it. He was staring right at me.
Mm-hmm.
If this thing would have moved, we would have all seen it move.
Yeah. Are you getting it on your end now?
I'm sorry?
Is it uploaded on your side, brother, or is it?
Yeah, I can see it.
Okay. Did we already touch topic on this one, or did?
Yeah, you can go ahead and
Go to the next one? Okay.
Yeah, go to the next one.
All right. Actually, I missed out on this other one. I wanted to share real quick. This tree structure you had, where it looks like they were piling them up together, like you guys were saying earlier. If you want Jesus to talk about this one.
Yeah, go ahead. Because I don't.
Yeah, and this is actually one of the more crudely built ones. There was some that were a lot tighter and more filled. Again, these are the blinds that I was talking about earlier at the beginning of the show. That we looked inside. There was no signs of human activity in these little blinds. I mean, I don't know what other than a shelter could these things be used for. We didn't see if there was. I mean, we couldn't tell if there was leaves or needles, to provide shelter from the elements of the weather. But I mean, we saw a couple of these when we were doing our first research in this general area where we captured that creature behind the tree.
Yeah, I can tell it looks like it's in the same area too. And then going back to that other photo, I think I already passed it, but with the woven trees, this one is a good one. This is something I saw up in Balch Park 2 weeks ago. So is the trees bent over? Javi, from your research and your knowledge, why do they bend the trees like that? Is it killing the trees? Is it making like a blind, like Jesus was saying, or do you think it's more more like a message?
I think the juveniles
Oh, so you think this is more juvenile activity then, right?
Yeah, I think so. Sometimes I think they are building blinds, but I think the juveniles are learning how to build blinds.
No, that's a perfect theory.
Structures.
Yeah. I mean, how they bend these things without snapping them at the trunk just it blows my mind, man. I don't know what they're doing or if it has to take a certain type of tree to do it. And obviously it seemed like it's in the eucalyptus, but I've also seen some redwood branches bent over too. So
yeah, they tell me that the eucalyptus are softer wood, easier to manipulate or break. But a lot of these up by Pine Flat, they're oak trees too. I mean,
oak trees, okay. Well, I'll move on to the next photo. Now, this I think is the last one that we have. I know it'll take a minute for you, Javi, but Jesus, do you want to describe? Do you think that this is more dogman in the bush or tree line?
Yeah, that looks more canine. I think initially when we first went through this, I think this is a screenshot of a video. When we were analyzing it, we thought it was a bear. But if it would have been a bear, we would have seen it because we were inside of this area here. So I mean, it's hard to say, but there was definitely something there. I think it looks canine, but it could also be a bear. But we didn't see anything because, like I said, we were inside this. I think it was like a. It's kind of hard to describe. It had a little opening where you could actually walk in, and you would have perfect cover.
Interesting.
Yeah. Oh, I see it.
You see it now, Javi?
So those trees are in arches. You see that? They're all tied up on top.
Yeah, I see that.
I took the photo because I saw the arch, the big old arch structure with the trees, and then again, reviewing it later, I see in the middle of the the arches is back in there. There's something in there.
Yeah.
It's staring right at us. To me, it looks like a canine. Something canine-ish.
It definitely does.
If it was a bear, one of us would have seen it. There was 3 of us all walking in there.
Wow. Yeah, no, this is that's what I picked up too is the canine look to it. I mean, that was probably one of my last questions I'll ask you, about the photo. But do you think that Dogman and Bigfoot coexist?
Oh yeah, for me, I do. Yep, they do. I don't know if they fight, but all these people say they're fighting each other. I don't know about that.
Do you think they maybe coexist for survival? Like, hey, there's certain, like you said, they're not always fighting, but do you think it's more like hey, this is your turf, my turf, we'll meet in the middle and you kill something, we'll feast off it together kind of, or coexisting?
It's a possibility.
Yeah, that is true. I didn't think about that. I've always thought it, but I just think that it's
a possibility.
Yeah. Jesus, what's your thought? Do you think they coexist?
I think they tolerate each other. Going back to those arches or the X's, it might just be markers for other. For example, it could either be the Bigfoots or the Dogmans, either or. Just putting markers saying, "Hey, get out of this area. This is already taken." They're just warnings for them, like stay out. This is my area. I mean, that's my theory. I think they coexist peacefully as long as they respect boundaries.
Yeah, I totally agree. And Miriam in the comments said Sasquatch don't tolerate anything, even slightly threatening around their young. So maybe there's some check and balances to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I could see that if it's threatening or it's getting close to one of its young or one of its members. I mean, of course, you can go and defend them.
Yeah, I totally agree, guys. I mean, it's been awesome seeing all you guys' content and everything. I know we're at the 3-hour mark right now. Did you guys have any closing comments that you want to give? Shout out to Cryptid 559.
I just want to say thank you to everybody in the chat for coming and watching it. Even though we had some issues and I wasn't able to get on. And I thank Jesus for being there to start it off. And I thank you, Shane. Thanks a lot for having us.
Yes, it was truly an honor to have you, brother, and you too, Jesus. Jesus, do you have any closing comments you want to leave with us?
I just want to say thank you to everybody who showed up tonight and supported us and supported you, of course. But we enjoy doing this. We like putting ourselves out there and having these awesome conversations. Every time we do something like this, I always take away something new. And I take this very seriously. And hopefully, you take away something from us too that you didn't know. So like I mentioned earlier, this is a learning opportunity for everybody that's interested in this to take something and apply it towards their research, their curiosity, and just stay vigilant, keep an eye out, be open-minded to other people's stories, because you never know. Someday the pieces to the puzzle will someday all fall together and it'll all make sense.
I totally agree, brother. That makes perfect sense. And hopefully we will get these answers, that we all seek, and we can come together. And like I said, I look forward to researching with you guys here in the near future.
Awesome.
Yeah,
all right.
Of course. Yeah.
Yeah, well, like I say, man, I'll hit you up, Javi. I know, Jesus, you don't really do social media, but maybe we can all link up again, like I said,
of course, yeah.
And we can set a date and we'll go out there looking for answers.
Sounds good.
And then we didn't, I had other stories, but we didn't even cover those. So next time.
Yeah, let's do a part 2 in the near future, brother. And you want to come on, and maybe we can get you on screen, and hopefully we won't have technical difficulties, and we'll definitely do another one. And like I say, I'm truly honored for you guys over at Cryptid 559 for coming over to West Coast Dogman Project and telling us your guys' cryptid encounters and sightings.
Sounds good. All right, thank you.
You're doing a great job.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate it. You guys have a good evening, okay?
Likewise. See ya.
Thank you. Take care. Bye. That was totally awesome. Thank you guys in the comments that came through. Cryptid 559 is totally awesome. Make sure you go check out their content on YouTube. They're under the same name, Cryptid 559. And please hit the like and subscribe button. Thanks, you guys. You have a good evening.
This is 10% luck, 20% skill, 15%